How old I am.
Oh crap! I'm really
Should be fucked it up.
just one thing. Hello everyone and welcome.
Oh!
Wait, one sec.
Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Hello everyone and welcome to the QT episode number 24. Also
Everything's
known
not
as the finale? ?
I mean, season 1 for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Unless there's another episode after this that I haven't been informed of.
I have minor concerns that we won't have enough time, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm
pretty
ready.
sure.
I mean, I'm ready.
It's fine
I'm
now.
ready.
Tori won't be in the final episode. She'll be on top of a mountain somewhere screaming with 12
no,
heads
did
or something.
No, I swear I looked at the cameras. They're fine. Oh, no, they're not. One sec. They're fine.
No, they're not.
They're
That's
fine.
not
They're
me.
fine. They're fine. They're fine.
No, I am Cecilia, apparently.
This is
I
what
am
happens when you
fabulous.
guys join in different orders to the usual.
I love Will's hair this week. It's amazing.
I'm sorry, we were all way on time, Sheep.
I know. Like, we can change that.
we were here half an hour ago, and she was like, never mind.
No, just the
People
order.
don't expect excellence.
The order you joined in was wrong. That's all I'm saying.
All I have to say is I would get a kick out of playing any of your other 3 characters also. So,
True.
fine. I
We'll
would
do
be
that
any
as a
of them.
special. You have to play one of the other
Oh my
person's
God.
characters.
Oh my god.
Have to?
Yeah.
More like wanna.
Yeah.
What
get
episode
to.
special?
I'm still excited for the episode we all get to be Tori's gaggle. I'm not letting that one go.
Oh my god.
Well, speaking as the person who has to be Tori's gaggle, it is quite a lot of fun.
It looks like you have quite the time, to be honest.
I would like to put in a request for LZT to be Nicole.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, oh
I'm
my
down.
god, totes.
I feel
Okay.
like we'd have to have Syrinx be is it Rebecca? Hang on a sec.
Rebecca's one of them.
The girls we constantly keep switching up.
Yeah.
I know.
Rebecca,
All I can say, right, is that
Christine.
there's
Oh, yeah.
no complicatedness there at all. You just need to meme and you're good. You're ready to go. It's fine.
Yeah, Nicole is just think of something they'd say in any 90s comedy with the dumb one who's like a little airheaded. And then you're good.
Oh, the dumb
But yeah,
one.
Syrinx
BB.
Syrinx has to be Christine because that's the girl who ran into the woods and is a bit
Alright.
wild.
I have to be.
Yeah. And I think it probably leaves. I think there's a little bit of fun in Elf having to play Laura because Laura's Tori's best friend, and that gives CK the Rebecca, who's the one who doesn't really fit in with the rest of the group and is.
By the way, Chad, if some of you are
Too
lost,
real.
not knowing which is which, it's fine. I'm right there with you. He's
We also
referencing
don't
people. I have heard none of these names before.
I have a document that refers to who they are and what they do, and I hardly know. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
And how many pages of notes do you have, Katie?
You mean books?
Yeah, sorry.
Several notebooks of notes.
3.
That's
for
fine.
season 1, chat.
Beautiful.
At the end of season 12 of the QT, you can publish your notes as like
Yeah.
Season 12, Jesus.
I'm
And we're
scared
also going
some of
to
our
be
viewers might be like psychologists, and I'm gonna get people at my door or something, you know.
And we're also working on releasing this setting as a separate book, right? And some
Yeah,
rule
of
sets and stuff as well.
course.
Yeah. It's going to be like Ack
Cece's
Inc. does
diary of
D&D.
affirmations.
God, I
Yeah.
could write that so hard.
No.
It's going to be like Acquisitions Incorporated does D&D, but it's this instead.
I do often compile the like setting details and everything for shows I do and throw them up on the Patreon. If anyone who is watching has watched Sunkissed or Drifting, those are up there. So but it's very much is like the vague skeleton to run your own show, your own like game in that setting. It's not like super in depth or anything.
Also, did we not have a Matt comment from last week?
Yes.
Did it not
We
happen?
did? Yes,
we
we
did.
did.
Oh, we did?
Look, I made a mistake and I deleted that message because for some reason YouTube on my phone was showing me literally no comments.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Because I haven't checked.
But we may not get a Mr. Matt comment this week.
Well, we're gonna get a live one. I
But
think.
yeah, I was going to say, depending on how much he goes through, but he may have
course.
nothing left to say, which...
Mr. Matt comes on, just goes like, "It was good, guys. Well done." And
Yeah.
then leaves.
Anyway, I have to go and prepare for 3 hours for my comment.
Ah.
I don't have much to say today, but part 3 of 1.
Yeah.
But yes, this is the Wandering Inn, and this is the QT. And if you like the Wandering Inn, if you like the QT, and if you've been watching the other shows that have been produced over the last like year or so, go check out the Patreon. Consider pledging. If you do, you will lead us towards making more shows. I have a dream. It's not a big dream, but it is a dream of making multiple shows a week. My plan is
God,
for
what
two,
a dream.
and then also doing some recorded stuff. So, yeah. Essentially, from the start, we have been paying the cast, and it is, at times, quite expensive to make shows. So,
Alien. Dracula Outlook.
don't talk to me about Duacra. That was not only more expensive than a regular show, that was also... we did the whole thing, and then I paid the cast. So I paid everyone at the same time for the entirety of the thing. 6 episodes each, 11 cast members. It was... anyway. Yes. With that said, essentially, even just $3 a month helps me work towards my goal of having a couple of casts and a couple of shows running at the same time. I also have recorded stuff I want to do. Essentially, every little helps, and the more the better, but I will do my best to make things work with what I've got as well. So
Subscribe to the Patreon or no balls.
there you go. That's a much better thing than what I said. Past that, obviously, as this is planned as the finale of QT, we will not have a Monday show for a little while. I am moving house, and we have a show currently running. And while the Duacromat Outlook on Fridays at 7 PM UK, 2 PM EST, and other times for other time zones, which I didn't bother remembering, that's going to be the main show running for a little while, so I can A, recoup my losses, I don't immediately jump into another show, and B, organize stuff, because I'm currently organizing casts for a couple of different shows. Which, now I'm saying it out loud, makes me worry that I'm actually going to be ending up with 3 shows a week for a little bit, because I'm planning quite a few shows. So, yay. Good on me for working within my means and not overreaching at everything. With that said, there is also Twitter. I mean, I guess it might not exist anymore, who knows, but...
You mean X?
Yes, I mean X. There is also the Discord. If you want to keep up to date, Twitter and Discord are the best places currently to do so. But if that changes, I'll let you guys know, probably in Discord. And yeah, if you want to be notified for the shows when they're going live, I post in both of those places. In the future, once I've moved and once I've been set up, I also plan to start releasing shorts, little clips of the shows. So, for example, in this one, I think, what's a good? I think probably the scene in the graveyard when George goes full like open-mouthed everything. I think that'd be
Kirby
a cool.
mode.
Full everything.
Kirby mode.
I think that'd be a cool short. One of the main ones, which I think only Syrinx will get the reference to, is in another graveyard in Somnambulist, when they are confronted by zombies and a revenant, and it goes from like really worried, like dun dun dun, to happy fun time, and just
I immediately had to think back on just you bitch slapping me 3 times with like unluck and letting me step on things and getting hit in the face like 3 times, like a fucked up horror comedy. Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. Oh, you
I sense no bitterness.
it wasn't my fault.
Oh no.
No.
Surely.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
But yes, I have set up a Instagram and a TikTok for the Wandering Inn, but there is also a Shorts channel. None of them have any content on them yet, and may not for a little while longer, until I figure out how to make shorts and actually get around to doing it. Probably, again, after I've moved. But, yeah, it's worth mentioning. Finally, past that, I do have plans to finally set up merchandise.
Oh, shit.
My assumption here is going to be I'll probably end up doing a pint glass with the Wandering Inn logo on it. I have a specific like a logo for that, which looks really cool. And most likely like a shirt and a hoodie with logos on. And then past that, I have plans to put I want to do posters of the dragons, and also the moon-kissed art. Which is the easiest one to do because my mum made them and gave them to me, so I can freely.
And then we'll
use that art.
talk about leather merch opportunities.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, okay, we can. So expect a I was trying to think of something like expect a full face mask, a leather face mask with like a dragon on the side. We'll get to work on that.
I do have a dragon mask I can make that's like
Oh.
the full thing. Yeah. It looks ridiculous, but it's very cool.
Everyone wants sheep dice. We don't have enough rolls for sheep dice to really be a thing that much anymore.
Maybe that's the irony.
Sheep dice, and we'll release an app.
Well, so
No physical dice. It's just an app with nothing in it.
we'll get running very momentarily, but just FYI, because I'm not sure everyone knows this. Sheep dice is a phenomena where anything I roll is exactly what I don't want to roll. So it's not like the curse of rolling always ones or always critical failures.
Yeah, it's not the Wheaton curse.
It's literally I'm in a scene, I'm the GM, and I want the character to fail. The character will succeed, even if it's an NPC. There's one instance which was hilarious where one of the characters had been shot a whole load of times. This was in The Last Ditch on Roll For It. One of the characters had been shot a whole load of times, slumped down against the wall, like bleeding everywhere. And I'm like, a medic runs up to you. Do you want to use the rolls that already exist, or would you like me to roll? And he goes, I'd like you to roll, please, Sheepy. I'm like, no problem. You gotta get 10 or under on a D100. You're fucked. And then I rolled the dice and I got critical success, rolled a 1. And healed him up perfect. He jumped back up and he was like, all right, let's get back into this war.
Hell yeah.
So, really diminishes the threat of Warhammer 40k when you can't kill any of your characters ever.
We've run out of ammo. It's fine, they're orcs. We can just yell bang.
Although, Distracted Elf was on The Last Ditch.
I was on Last Ditch, yeah. I
And-
had a big gun.
You guys had a lot, like, it ended a certain way, but you guys had a lot of fun with your little scenario.
Yeah, it was good.
I think that was the biggest amount of friendly fire I've seen in a 40k show. There's so much friendly fire from that group.
I love friendly fire.
Yeah. I mean, it's friendly. What's not to love?
Yeah.
So, let's,
Just one last thing.
Okay.
Very minor. Damn man in chat was like a wandering in dice bag. I'm gonna write that down because that would be pretty fucking cool.
For all the dice you never use.
Yeah, exactly. It's just empty, and it's an empty bag. Delivered with sheep's wool, maybe, to keep it thematical. Yeah, that'll be fine.
You open up the dice bag and there's just a little post-it note that says "what" and like a sad face.
Oh, I owe you one shit roll.
It just says silly goose. We don't roll in this game.
Oh god, the bio.
Permanently close the dice bag because there's no reason to open it.
Oh god, the orc story. There was a game. I won't go into it because we're gonna get into.
Yeah,
the
we
QT.
have to play our game.
But,
We're 20 minutes late. Come on, let's go.
Sheepy.
It's
Yeah,
actually.
you're Sheepy before this was like, I don't know if we'll have enough time to do this whole, like, there's so much to
Well,
do, and like.
Now you know why I'm not sure because I never get
Yeah.
started. Yeah. No, but very quickly, and actually,
Whose
very
fault is
quickly,
that?
there was an instance where I killed like 600, 700 orcs with one dice roll, and they were a giant army facing against characters. They all died. It was a
Hell
terrible fucking roll. Anywho, the QT. Last episode, we had the we had the fallout from Tori's transformation and subsequent devouration. I don't think that's a word, but
The evaporation.
It's a word now.
devouration of Chelsea, which
The mastication. Of...
yeah. So that happened, and Tori was taken away and deposited into bed and woke up in the morning. Same with everyone. After also the aftermath of Cecilia being confronted with a few hard truths.
One way to put it.
Reality. What a life we live, huh?
And everyone had a normal day at school, pretty much. Which I think everyone found a little bit bizarre. All the characters found a little bit bizarre.
Yeah, it was
considering-
super normal. We did that.
Yeah. There was some conversations, especially at lunch. I believe Cecilia brought some food and essentially a picnic and gave it out to people.
And some nice company, you know?
And some nice company. And did eventually have a quick chat with Mr. Knight towards the end, where she was essentially advised that his companions or associates are heading towards town in the future, and therefore maybe keep your head down. And was, do you think it's fair to say unceremoniously dismissed? Kind of in like
I think she just didn't she was so flabbergasted that she just like was like, oh well, okay, I guess I'll go now.
I guess I'll see myself out.
Like
yeah.
I guess I'll just walk out right now. Just like nothing happening.
Yeah.
I think it was more like that.
And George and Will, specifically George, went to see the counselor, who was Bella. They had a chat. I think, as always, when George interacts with any of these adults, she gets a mixture of scared and confused.
Yeah.
And
She pretty much just thinks she's in trouble all the time, like most kids.
yeah. And so, I think that we will rejoin the QT not long after where we ended, for those of you who can remember where we ended. And what we are going to join in on is the QT in the rain. Not just the rain. It is shaping up over the course of the last few hours to becoming much more of a storm. Visibility is pretty low at this point. There's a decent amount of like fog creeping in, and it is getting darker in the sense that the sun is going behind the horizon. Slowly, what you are currently seeing is the last vestiges of sun. So you have like a light glow across, a small, faint glow across the clouds at best. And a car pulls up at the lake. Tori, you and Gray have headed out to the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dark. Well, again, it's not dark. It's getting dark.
Yeah.
And there is the two little kind of shack places. They got like little eaves over the top of them, so you can sit there or sit in the car. And Gray says, "I think this is as good a place as any to fill you in on the details that you have probably been missing up till now."
Felt suitable, yeah. Still sitting in her car, like, turns off the gas, like, and just, like, looks over to the passenger seat towards Gray while the rain is coming down, right?
He kind of, like, points out the window towards the lake as, like, in the distance there's, like, a flash as, lightning is hitting somewhere in the distance, and says, "I'm guessing that that's yours." The lake.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like, seems like it.
If you ever get into a confrontation you're not confident in, it's a good place to retreat back to.
I kind of thought I'd be, I don't know, traveling and stuff. Am I just stuck here now?
Not stuck, but you have a center where you are safe and strong. If you travel out and away, you will, at least to some people, be vulnerable. Not without defenses, but vulnerable.
Fair enough. So, fill me in then. I don't know what to ask, right? So.
I mean, my story goes back almost a decade or more. Kids, well, teenagers, university, college, occult club, group of students looking into the occult and seeing, once we discovered that it actually existed, seeing...
Sure, you were a team with Ashford and Knight and
Not
that other
him.
lady, right?
With Ruben, yes, and Isabella, and a few others. And we happened upon a area out in the middle of the country that was of certain attraction to entities, supernatural.
Sure, like QT seems to be right now, right?
Yes. And we found ourselves bestowed or possessed or becoming containers for entities such as you did.
Yeah, it's a familiar story so far.
And then one of them took over our friend. And she died.
Well, as far as I can tell, they're not all safe and happy, so
No.
to speak.
And from there, we learned that there are shamans, medicine men, witches, exorcists, priests, a whole vague grouping of people who it is their job to, they take it upon themselves to deal with the supernatural.
Sure. People with expertises that you don't even think about. I mean, you don't think about what electricians do until you need one, right?
No. But the problem with them is that they have no interest in what happens afterwards. What happens when you take what is essentially a sometimes centuries old supernatural entity and break it apart? While
You're talking about like delicate ecosystem kind of stuff, like save the environment, but for mythological creatures.
a little bit, in essence. The problem we found through investigation is that that energy doesn't disappear. If you destroy, and he points out towards the lake, if you destroy an Incanyamba, a big, powerful entity, supernatural, all of that energy stays. And as it gathers, it can gather more supernatural entities, and as they get destroyed, they can gather more. Eventually you end up with what is essentially a sink, a whirlpool of energy that draws more in until it reaches a critical mass.
Gotcha.
Luckily, we managed to stop it before it happened last time.
How do you stop? Like, you just things don't get destroyed?
We're not sure what would happen if it reached a critical mass.
Because I think there's kind of a case for destroying some super dangerous entities, right? I
Yes.
mean, plenty of things I've run into in the last, what is it, like week, have not been great for the local population who don't even know they exist.
Invariably, they will cause some type of harm to people, be it minor or major. Even the harmless ones can't deny their nature. They don't have the human element that allows choice.
I get this feeling that you're somehow shit-talking me right now.
No. I'm just saying that these supernatural entities have to live up to their nature. It's why you will often find ones who are perfectly capable of speech still unable to explain why they do the things they do. If you encounter a banshee, she would not be able to tell you why she screams at night when people die.
I mean, I'm sure she'd have a reason.
The reason is that she has to. She is essentially compelled to by her nature.
Yeah, but we make up reasons when we don't know why. That's like the point of this whole thing.
But they don't question it, so they don't need to make up a reason because they just do it.
Okay, so when we're talking about these kinds of things, are we talking about that energy, these connections with people like me or George or Will or Cecilia? Like, is that the same? Does that eventually is humanity subsumed?
No. Probably not. As I said, we never found out what happened when the energy reached a critical mass, as one of the effects is that it is eased a little bit by formation of new entities based on more modern or more conscious things. For example, the Hydra.
Well, I mean, that's good news because, you know, as much as becoming a huge, scaly monster is helpful in some circumstances, I don't think I'd want to be like that all the time.
These things are slightly less formed. They are, in a way...
It's energy. It's leftover energy, right? That's what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yeah.
It's like filling up a cup of water too much, you get spillage. That's what it is.
However, one thing we found is that when people in a, let's call it spiritual well, die and go away, they also are drawn into the well. Some
in like
of
a
them...
good way or a bad way? Or...
It's difficult to use good or bad in these situations, but
I mostly
say...
mean, can you prevent this whirlpool by introducing more humanity? Or no?
It was theorized that possibly the addition of essentially human spirit may form the entities that we all have been burdened with.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a burden, but sure.
But never figured out whether it would escalate from there or not. Again, as we managed to disperse the gravity well.
So we don't have a whole lot of information about that, but you said you dispersed it, so how do we disperse it then? How did you do it last time?
We killed the person who had the entity inside them.
Oh, okay, so there's like an original problem thing.
Yes.
That's not overly complicated, then.
Depends on who has the entity inside them. Yeah, I can assure you it was considerably complicated, and still is to this day.
Alright. So I guess my next question is, do you care what happens here?
No. I am now preparing for what happens next.
Yeah, and you said you wanted to work together. So, what happens next?
Most likely we're going to see what happens when the spiritual mass reaches a critical point. I suspect an implosion, but we will have to see.
So we're just gonna sit around and wait then?
As far as I can tell, I imagine.
I mean, what about Ashford? What about the others who are involved in this? Like,
Reuben has had his hands full for a good couple of months at this point, trying to stem the flow of destroyed spiritual entities. I imagine if you've worked for him at all, he's been encouraging you to capture them instead of destroy them.
yeah, that's accurate.
Whereas his colleague, the other teacher, Mr. Knight, him and his kind don't know anything about stemming the flow. They only care about cleansing and destroying. They're actually the reason we're in. Well, they're actually the reason you're in this situation now. They have been grouped up en masse in the surrounding areas, exorcising demons, which has, of course, over the last couple of years, chased all of the said entities here, forming the gravity world to begin with.
So basically, they're just like corralling stuff into town.
Unintentionally.
It's a hell of an unintentionally.
It is. But it's what happens when you mess with forces you don't really understand or care to understand.
Well, in the same way that you worked with Ruben, she says in like a, okay, I guess we're referring to him this way.
Yeah.
You know, I have people that I want to make sure are okay. Right? I mean, I could just sit here and wait, but that doesn't seem like the friendly thing to do.
Well, if you're talking about your fellow friends who are...
I'm talking about the people I mentioned earlier. Yeah.
If you want to help them, you may be able to get back in time. If you leave now. But you will be putting yourself in considerable danger.
I feel like if I don't help, then I'm just putting myself in that same danger later, right? If these hunters are coming through here.
Perhaps. But it does mean I can't give you everything else you need to know right now. So I imagine if you survive, we can pick up this conversation later.
Everything else I need to know, how much is there?
A fair amount.
Where are you gonna be?
On the edge of town for the next few hours, and then I'll make my way back into the center. My guess is that the average citizen of Quail Town won't have anything to worry about for now.
Fuck. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I gotta head back then.
And he reaches into his coat and pulls out a coin and holds it off towards you.
Tori takes it and puts it in her pocket.
if you get yourself in a situation where it's you or other people that will allow you to survive, but you'll abandon your friends.
Yeah, I'm not planning to half measure any of this if it comes down to it. I've done it
coin.
once, I'll do it again.
The coin is there if you need it. Your choice. And then he opens the car door and steps out into the rain.
As he steps out into the rain, Tori's like, hold on. I do want to work together, but I can't just leave people in this situation. You get it, right?
I do get it. I made that choice once too.
All right. I'll see you soon, hopefully.
I hope your situation turns out different than mine.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Closes the door. Tori starts up the car,
Yep.
and the
Head
camera
back towards town.
camera fades as you drive back towards town. And we go to join. Yes, we will join George and Will as you are in the school, I believe. And essentially the course of events will be heading outside the front door, and then in the rain, unfortunately, headed towards home.
Yeah, probably not chilling at the skate park if it's this nasty out.
Yeah,
And-
it's no bueno on the weather.
At the current point in time, you are both kind of like by the offices, having just gotten out of the councillor meeting. And CC, you're just FYI, you're in the area, because you haven't left school yet either. So, you know, feel free to if Cecilia
I
would-
guess as far as I can remember that the other two, or at least George, was very concerned about her meeting with Knight.
Yeah.
And I think Katie said something about waiting.
Yes.
Yes. I said
So
we'd be around in the building to listen, and you said you'd scream.
Yeah.
yeah.
I imagine in that case, if you'll allow me, Cecilia standing in the hallway a little bit like nonplussed as to what to do, as George and Will like walk out into the hallway
I think as she walked out of the room, there was this little bit of like not knowing what just happened, but like quickly after that she would start feeling good about herself because she's like, wow, this one went great, you know, like
Yeah.
I told him what I thought and like he just like he took it, wow, like this conversation went great. And I think as she's like starting to think about that and as like has like a little self-fulfilled smile there, she would see the other two get out in the hallway, maybe. So she'd say, oh hey, I didn't scream, and then she like walks towards you. She's like, that went, wow, who knew that just saying what you think could feel that way, huh?
So it was okay.
Like it was.
And I'm
It
like
went
looking
great.
for like a burn on her.
It went great. Like I said my mind. I told him what I thought, and he just took it, and he was like totally on the same page on it. It was yeah.
Nice. I mean, yeah, that's shocking.
Elsie, yeah.
That's really good. Yeah. Well, could have been worse, I suppose.
I mean, like you I have to admit it. You like got me scared there for a second, you know? Like I wasn't gonna admit it. I thought like, maybe you're onto something, but it seems you weren't, so
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, yeah, maybe like you wanna know this. I don't know how to best put this out here. So I'll just like say it bluntly and you can react whatever way you want. There's gonna be coming certain people who are very keen on absolutely destroying anything related to supernatural things are apparently coming to town.
That's not great.
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're excited or not.
I no, but no, because these people are like are bad.
Oh,
Like
okay.
real bad. And I'm just concerned about having to maybe skip school for that. I don't know.
I mean, if they're that bad, the school might not be here anymore.
I'm sure they don't have a reason to destroy a school building because like it's not like the school is possessed by anything.
What
but maybe a
if
few
there's
people
a lot
in
of
it?
us inside the school building? Maybe they'll take the safe
Yeah.
route and get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So-
Birds, one bomb.
It's not not inconceivable. This is a very good spot to be fair because we all congregate here.
Yeah, but maybe they don't know. It could be that they don't know that. I
They
don't
sound pretty
know.
smart.
They sound very organized. I'll
Yeah,
say
I'm gonna
that.
get out of this building as soon as possible. You guys can hang out as long as you want, but that sounds like an absolute horrifying idea. She's gonna
So
start
you're
like
gonna-
backing away, hands on her backpack, like looking for something.
So you're gonna and she like starts following but more hesitantly, like looking back in the hallway, and she's like, so like you're gonna what
Leave.
skip school until
Yep.
when?
Until whatever that is done. No class is more important than blowing up. What?
But maybe they don't know that there's like high schools.
Okay, but like us being here is gonna let them know that, so I might as well go not here. Not around other of us, right? Like we shouldn't be together.
She be what day in the week is it?
Wednesday, so it's middle of the week, basically.
Oh god damn it.
Sorry.
We're like a blood clot for them. They're gonna smell us.
Will they?
Didn't you just say they're well organized?
Well organized doesn't mean they can smell supernatural beings. Or maybe the
How else? I mean, does your
We
boy
don't
know how
that they
track?
we don't know that they can't.
I
What
true
if
they
they've got
could
like
have.
Will's eye and they can just like see us?
Yeah.
Well, no, they wouldn't because they won't use anything supernatural themselves.
Oh, well, maybe they've got like special glasses or something.
Bombs.
Well, I guess maybe if magic count. I guess they won't have anything inherently supernatural.
But they could still track us.
Maybe. Maybe you're
Yeah, we
right.
should
Maybe
go
we should get
home.
out of school for
Yeah.
at least today.
just at least today. Maybe like get an ear to the ground or something. Did you get a timeline on this? Because I can't help
No, I didn't.
this.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I just heard that the bad bads were coming, so
I'm gonna go home.
I'm gonna
Now?
start following Will. Yep, we should go. Thank you for the heads up. This is a nightmare.
she walks with outside, as I assume we're all doing at this point.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, if you there is a lot of room in the farm if you know, in case you would need it.
Oh, like
Just
safe
in
house,
case you
yeah.
would need it. It's not like I don't want to bring my family into danger, but like the farm is big.
Yeah, I mean, if they figure out where I am, I don't know if I'd want to like bring them to where you are.
Maybe you could eat a hole in the ground.
Wouldn't that be like a beacon? Like, hey,
I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. I just like, you know, we're just kids, man.
I reckon I could eat a hole in the ground, you know.
What the?
Who's that?
my-
It's Joe.
Jesus, Joel, have you been just standing out? You're so.
Yeah, he's
out here?
soaking
She-
wet, and he's
Creepy.
like,
The moment he speaks up, Cecilia turns, looks at him, and looks terrified that she didn't realize he was there the entire time.
"Oh,
Will's
hey, new friend, cool."
Will
She
just
looks
goes
at
"Sneaky
George and Will.
bastard."
We're betrayers. Oh, dude, Cece, this is Joel. It's
So-
he's a buddy of mine.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's
I mean,
cool.
yeah.
You know, he's not like.
Are we
But
like?
you know, she looks at Joel. She was like, "You totally know that everything we were talking about was about history homework, right? You totally know that."
Huh? Talking about what?
Joel, do you do homework?
Yeah.
Why?
No, not working from home. Homework, from school.
Yeah, you know, like I like read it and stuff.
Really?
You know,
I
you
don't
have to
agree.
answer it, right?
Yeah, you know, I answer it.
Out loud?
Sometimes it helps me with the thinking, you know.
I learn new things about you
All
every day,
right. Cecilia like looks away from Joel at that moment, as if like with the expression of I hope this shit isn't contagious, whatever it is he has.
You know, we should
It's
probably.
not contagious unless you smoke it.
We should probably like start getting going because it's like raining.
the
Yeah.
the rain won't.
It's
You know what?
soaking wet, Joel. Dude, you're right. All right. Yo, Cece, I will touch base. Will same later. You know.
Oh, you know what I could do? I could, if you, wait, have I dropped? No, it's Tori I dropped off. I never dropped George off, right?
No.
No,
I don't think so.
think I did. So I don't know where the two of you live. So I'll go.
Yeah.
in
And Tori's the only one who dropped me off too.
if you just give me your addresses, and I don't mean that in a creepy way or anything, but if you like give me your addresses, then I could keep an eye out and I would see if anything were to happen to you.
It wasn't creepy till you said that.
Yeah, I wouldn't suspect anything creepy, but now I kind of am.
yeah.
Are you gonna put up like cameras at our houses or something? Because how can you see?
That would be weird, Joel. You're absolutely right. That would be
Right?
weird.
Yeah.
Yes, I will put up cameras.
You know what? I'm good.
And
I've got your
she
number.
looks at George dead in the eye, like just like.
I'm like,
Or
telepathic,
she does like, or
it's
she does
not
like
a
a little.
disease.
No, she does like a little like, like bird, like flap thing, like.
Poor Joel.
You know
I'll put
there's
my arm around him.
you know there's like
You're so
Yes,
smart,
it's still
buddy.
raining, Joel. Thank you.
you know there's like barely any crime in our neighborhood because there's like nothing to steal.
Yeah. I heard that even the birds fly upside down because there's nothing worth shitting on.
Really? Cool.
Dude, I thought that was drugs.
No, the
So-
birds.
So yeah, it's only if you guys want it.
Nah, bro. I'll call you or something later. It's chill. Like Joel said, like my neighbors are the criminals. It's fine. We'll be whatever.
Yeah, we like know them all by name and stuff.
And they know us, which is more concerning.
Yeah.
I've got to play with Joel for a bit. This is fun. I swing my arm around like soaking wet Joel with that like squish on the wet, probably hoodie or something like.
Oh,
So we'll catch you guys later. Be safe and stuff. And then just start kind of walking.
Yo, are they gonna hide?
Yeah, after they put up all those cameras.
Cool.
Yep, that's
That kind of ruins
Will
the
doesn't
point.
Will doesn't have an umbrella. He would have had back in the UK. Would have carried an umbrella, but
Yeah.
now he has one of those deployable, like, plastic coverings for his backpack. So it just opens a zip and then pulls. So to save the books, because he'll dry out, but the books will be screwed. So
it's so
he deploys
beautiful.
his brilliant red rain cover for his backpack.
All right, yeah.
I
I
just
think
imagine Cece watching that.
yeah, I think she's watching like the two of you just without a worry, just walking off because like basically a moment ago you guys went like, "Oh shit, we need to leave right fucking now. What if they burst open this door and blast their asses off?" And you go from that to like, "Nah, you don't need to watch us. It'll be fine. Nothing will happen." And she's like, "What in the actual shit?" She's like, all right, so she's kind of concerned, but you two just like walk off without a care. She's definitely the kind of person that would have an umbrella in like her locker or something, so she would go get that, just pop that open by herself, and still be a little concerned about the two of them. I guess she would even think momentarily about trying to send an animal after them right now. But then she would think like, no, friends don't do that. So yeah.
Okay. So then George and Joel are heading off down the road towards.
Yeah, Will's heading home as well.
Okay. Are you going with? Are you joining?
I mean, we don't really live in the same direction, so.
Okay.
I
so
wouldn't let him because my whole
yeah.
George's idea is like we should not be together because that just puts like
Yeah,
one
yeah,
bigger
exactly.
target.
So Will's gonna pull his jacket kind of over his head a little bit and try to jog between coverings on the way home.
Okay.
Oh, bless his heart, like awnings.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my god,
Definitely done that.
outside seating. That'll be an awning over there.
And Cecilia, you're driving?
Yes, I am driving, and I am not going home immediately because I know that Rodney is awake. So
Ooh.
Okay. In that case, yes, you all head off in separate directions to the places. As George, as you're walking off down the road with Joel, it is obviously pouring it down. And Joel is like, "Yo, you alright?"
Yeah, why?
You
I mean, I'm fucking cold and wet.
yeah, but I know you seemed like off, you know?
They made me go see the school counselor.
Oh, so you've been like,
Oh,
Like
yeah,
she-
they think I'm crazy or some shit. I don't know.
they like drilled into your brain and like, you know.
Poured acid in my throat, so I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't great. I'm just exhausted. It was. I thought I was in trouble for some shit again. I was like, I haven't had time to be in trouble in ages.
Yeah.
But no, it was the usual. How are you? Stuff. Ugh.
Alright. Well, if as long as you're good, then that's all good, you know?
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you though, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Why?
You noticed I wasn't normal.
Oh, well.
Yeah, like that's nice.
Yeah.
That's friend shit. I know that's not like a parent, but that's friend shit, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, you know, like, since it's kind of just us now, like, go look out for each. Like, Will's cool, you know, and that other girl.
They're all dope. No, I get you. Sometimes
Yeah.
I think like what if Casey hadn't have just like booked it?
Yeah.
Like it's cool to make new friends and all, and kind of, but like, did it take losing one?
What, to, like, make some?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like we were fine. I was fine.
Yeah, we were good.
I liked that we didn't talk, and whatever. Casey just never stopped talking.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. I feel like I have to talk a lot more now.
You do talk more. I've noticed.
Yeah, shit doesn't get done when no one talks.
Right.
He was kind of like the shit done getter. Whatever.
Yeah.
Bastard. Probably lives with his stepmom somewhere cool. Florida, on a beach.
Wait,
Asshat.
he was adopted, right?
Yeah, but didn't his parents split at one point, or he had some family somewhere or something? He talked about people,
Yeah.
or was that the? Dude, I don't know, man. It wasn't that long ago, but it feels that long ago.
Yeah. And he didn't really talk about it that much. I don't really remember.
Weird.
Yeah.
Maybe they unadopted him.
Can you do that?
Up. I don't think. I mean, what adults can do whatever they want. They have money.
True.
Yeah. Like, what do you? I mean, that's the only reason we can't do what we want to do, right?
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Theoretically.
And I imagine for like probably half a second, like you keep walking and then you realize that Joel has stopped walking.
Okay.
I'll
probably spin around, look for him. Is he still behind me?
Yeah, and he's
Okay.
kind of just standing there, and like as you turn around, he like lifts up his hand and points down the road back, like as you from back behind you where you turned around. He's like, "There's someone standing in the road."
I'm just. What? And I'll turn around. Do I see a person standing in the road?
Yeah, it's kind of it's hard to exactly see. It looks like maybe they're wearing like a raincoat type thing.
Yeah.
But it is also raining pretty heavily and foggy and getting darker. So, but
Yeah, I imagine when the rain rains that hard, there's like that backsplash coming off
Yeah.
the ground. It's kind of misty and splashy and shit.
But it looks like someone is just walking down the middle of the road.
And we're on the sidewalk, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'll probably like back up to stand next to Joel again and be like, "Yeah, dude, we're getting closer to like our side of town. This is probably some fucking drunk. Just don't look at him."
And as you say that, you hear
Drip. Drip.
drop. Like echoing around you.
We hear someone saying that, or do we hear a drip drop?
You hear someone saying that.
Okay, I'd probably whisper under my breath to Joel, "Oh yeah, dude's fucking off his rock," and like do this kind of thing and start walking faster. Because I'm assuming we're very used to drunks stumbling down roads and things,
Yeah,
moaning
yeah.
strange things. Like, I'm not saying I personally have lived in terrible places, but that's often. Just don't make eye contact. Start talking, like laughing about something together, or something.
And as you keep your head down and you're passing him, as you've just passed him, you hear in like a very soft voice, "Hey George."
Joel, shh, we're moving fast right now. No time to talk.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Yeah, sure it wasn't.
And I will say that the voice is familiar. So, you know, like, yeah.
It doesn't make sense that someone in the middle of the road would sound like that. It's got to be Joel fucking with me.
True.
And I'd probably like hook Joel's arm and walk faster. Like, you're being an asshole right now. Don't fuck with me.
At that point, both of you, essentially stop pretty dead in your tracks as your feet sink into the pavement.
She'd probably look down at her feet sinking in and say very audibly, "Oh, fuck?
There's like it's a little ripply, and it has the consistency of like swamp or clay or something. Like the floor is quite sticky and is
Before she
a little
even
bit like-
thinks about any of this, can she instinctually push Joel off the sidewalk into the bushes or whatever the fuck is not the sidewalk, or try?
yeah.
Like the moment she knows something weird is happening, can she just like barrel him out of whatever she's sinking into?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then she'll start looking and trying to pull her feet out and probably do that. But I feel like, you know, like she has a feeling. That's why she knows weird shit's about to go down, and Joel's her numero uno important. Like that's the only normal thing left in her life, I think. And so like kind of like I imagine it's similar to the way dads catch their babies out of nowhere with an arm. Like that kind of instinct, you know, she just like maybe uses some supernatural strength or whatever and just pummels him as far away from her as physically possible.
Yeah, and there's kind of like a like whoa, you know, kind of like, and he just goes kind of like barreling off the thing, and there's like a little hill that goes down into like a field.
Oh,
type
like
thing.
a little embankment.
Yeah,
Thing.
you're essentially you're on the main road that turns off towards the school.
Okay.
And you're headed back towards kind of the burbs.
Okay.
So this area is like trees and field, a few like
It's
kind
like
of
the
field
in-between.
areas. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
Not very populated, essentially.
Is the shit that I'm sinking in sticky enough that it grabbed his shoes off his feet?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's like I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Damn, combat boost. Boots. I'll do that. You know, if you've ever been stuck in mud where you kind of do that back and forth with your hips, with your feet both kind of trying to shimmy him out a little bit, and crouch down and like push on the ground. Is it squishy to my hands too? I don't want to get him stuck like that much. I'm not gonna trust it. But like
Yeah, no.
it's
If you try and like push in with your hands,
It's like
your hands will start sinking in as well.
okay.
And at the same time as you're doing that,
Trip. Drop.
you will be facing the other direction because you walk past the figure.
Mm-hmm.
But you will you can twist as well if you want, but
Oh, I'm sure she'd be trying.
yeah, like so you can essentially with a bit of a twist you can see the figure has like stopped, turned, and is walking towards you. Still like kind of like head a little bit slouched down, like this kind of raincoat looking thing. And as it gets, I'd say within like 5-10 meters or so of you, even with the rain, which is quite heavy and kind of, you know, quite loud, the head lifts up, and you see a like very bedraggled, even like little bits of like green in like the hair and on the shoulders and stuff. Very kind of like, I hate to say it, but drowned corpse looking ass type thing.
Yep, I got you.
But you can
Bloated.
but you can recognize the face, and the face is 1 second, Casey. And
I'd do it.
he says again, "Hey George."
Man, the bloated corpse thing.
It's not like super bloated, but it is very grey and very shiny, and
Yeah.
it doesn't look.
Probably like, I imagine the panic of her being stuck. She'll probably do a couple spins like that, and it'll take her a few seconds to register what she's seen and what she's heard in that second, and do like a stop freeze moment, and then like a slow. What?
Craziest thing happened.
Nuh-uh. It's just disbelief. Like, I don't think her brain would quite understand what she was looking at. That's not you, right? Don't fuck with me.
Not really anymore.
Could you, unstick me?
I imagine if I did, you'd run away. And I need you now.
If you're who I think you are, you know I can't run worth shit.
Me neither now.
No, looks like you got a few other talents at your hands. What is this? Is this a joke? Dude, you've been gone for weeks.
I've been here.
Okay, so maybe you could have dropped a line.
No.
No. Okay, so this is how we say hello. Okay. This is hurting my back. Could you, like, fuck in front of me?
The,
Gluggle in front of me? I don't know what he does.
yeah, he like, slowly walks, and you can hear the scrape of, like, his feet aren't completely leaving the ground, so it's kind of like a little scrape as well of,
Yeah.
and he walks kind of, like, round in front of you, slowly, and as he does, he says, have you ever drowned, George?
And she just kind of be doing this at him, like, kind of like the owl move, like trying to focus on his face and figure out if that's really him.
And he stops and, like, turns around to face you and says, I drowned.
Go on? I don't... Is this some fucking sick joke? Where have you been?
The lake.
Like, just chilling? Because I've been to the lake a few times lately. Extensively, in fact. I didn't see you. And as your friend, I thought you might say hey.
I was at the bottom of the lake. I couldn't move. I couldn't get out.
Did you tap into somebody's stash? You're looking a little pale.
I'm here to finish it.
The stash. No. Finish it by making my feet stuck.
I need... And at this point, he sounds a little bit more like himself, like a little bit less, like, kind of dead voice.
Yeah.
He says, I need an end. This... I can't deal with this Half-Life anymore.
End.
And then you hear...
Drip. Drip.
Oh, yep, you can cut that fucking shit out.
Drop.
Okay, so like, let's just go along with you lived in a lake for a bit. How'd you get in the lake?
And at that point, you hear from just down the hill, yo, you, like, totally pushed me. And you could hear Joel, like, walking back up the hill, squishy. And then, after, like, half a second, yo,
Scramble.
like, my feet are in the ground, man.
Yep. Yeah, the mud's pretty bad here, isn't it, kind stranger who was just going on their way? Please.
Do you think Joel has ever drowned?
I don't use think and Joel in the same sentences usually. You should go now.
I need your help, George.
Okay. You're losing my patience quickly with whatever you need help with.
I'm tired of being stuck in between life and death.
So maybe unstick my feet and I can try to help you.
You won't want to help.
Okay, maybe you can talk me into it when I'm less stuck.
I desire oblivion. I desire a release from the constant feeling of drowning. And
Okay, I desire Joel's innocence, so can we move this the fuck along?
And the constant desire to have people join me. And you feel the ground like sucking at your feet and like drawing you in slightly.
If he keeps going, I'm unleashing whatever's inside of me. Like, the protection of Joel. If Joel's getting up and hearing this conversation, I'm gonna start calling on Chef Jeff or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And being like, I'm gonna eat this fuck. Like, Joel is the last normal thing I have left in my life. Fuck that. This person, their conversation, anything they have to say, I do not care anymore. They've hit my button. And I don't know if it works or not, but I will literally, like, be listening, but in my core, like, hey, Jeff, your turn. Like, tag in. Or whoever, if it's the little fucking chick. Fairy?
Faye.
Goblin? Faye. Oh my god, Goblin? Katie?
Fairy goblin?
Oh
yeah,
my god.
the fairy goblin.
Faye.
As those things are going in your mind, let's take a second in George's head. So she's pissed?
Oh, she's... I don't know if pissed? Let me think. Yeah, but there's a better word for it. It's
It's a desperate move, right? Like, it's a
Yep.
desperation play.
Upset.
yeah, it's instinct. It's almost instinct. Again, it's the dad arm.
Okay,
It's like, my arm might get cut off, but I'll catch my baby.
gotcha.
That kind of thing. Like, she's probably, theoretically, I'm imagining, run these kind of situations through her head, or maybe even conversations with Puka at night. Like, hey, if I had to protect someone, or if something comes after someone I love, like, she's also, with the knowledge of having, 5 years of life or whatever, she's kind of at peace with giving the shell over, if it
Yeah.
means Joel will be okay.
I will say, you feel the sensation of... It's hard to exactly describe. You've felt it a couple of times, but essentially, stirring, like, deep within the
Yeah.
void. A slight welling of power cut off a little bit. But I will say that as for example, the sense of smell heartily increases. You can smell Casey, who smells not great. You can smell Joel, who smells a little bit baked and slightly confused. And you hear the clink of chains as the camera zooms back very slightly, and we see a slightly slack, drooping chain go taut, and then one of the links just behind your back stretch and snap, and the chain itself dissolves into nothingness. The camera smash cuts or swipe cuts over to a certain gentleman in a classroom who immediately pauses from writing, looks up with like a distant look in his eyes, and says, "Oh, fuck." As we, let's say check in with the other three.
Oh.
We slide over to Tori, who is driving. You have made it closer into town. As a question,
Yeah.
where are you headed to?
That's a great question. I mean, I need to find these nerds. I know that the skate park is a good place for George and Will at this point, because
Probably not in
that's
the
where they
rain.
always go. But yeah, it's raining, right? So yeah, probably not. I think I'm going to George's house
Okay.
because I know
We wouldn't be there in the rain.
yeah, like that she's gonna be inside somewhere, and it's after school hours, and they're not at school, right? This is George and Will and Cece. We're talking about Cece might, but George and Will aren't gonna be in school for more than like 5 seconds more than they have to be at this point.
Will might
because
want to be,
Will
but
because of bad influence, right? Yeah, but like, you
If
know.
we had checked in on Will a few months, like
Yeah.
when we started, he would spend most of his day at school.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? Let's So let's hit the Tory, and where Tory going, and then the CC and the Will.
Headed to
Um,
George's house.
Yes. Let us know the situation as things currently are.
GP needs to go to the toilet.
TP needs to
That's
pee. Yes.
Yeah, got it.
But before
I
the
mean-
next set of events,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, this
Bladder
is
is
the
the size
best
of a Brazil
get,
nut.
Get,
Go back,
get
go
out of
back.
here.
suddenly the radio clicks on. Don't speak.
But yeah, so Tori's definitely headed to George's house. Where's Will at post school?
Poor wet rat Will.
Yeah, he's dodging between awnings trying to get home without getting completely fucking drenched.
he doesn't drive.
I feel like at some
No,
point
Will doesn't
you
have a
ha-
license.
I feel like at some point you have to just like accept the wet. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. He's
At
just
some
trying
point
to
you do.
postpone it as much as possible
I've
down
had
the main
those.
street.
I've had those moments where it's just like, well, I guess I'm just gonna be drenched. And
I think
Yeah.
at a certain
Fuck it.
point he steps into a puddle that's a bit deeper than he expected, and like his lower leg gets wet, and then it's like,
Oh,
oh well.
Matt.
no, not the socks. No.
Oh no.
And it's like,
Gross.
I assume like in this scenario that he's wearing shoes that are like kind of waterproof, but the water goes too high, so it goes into the shoe. That's the most horrible feeling ever.
Oh, yeah,
Muddy,
that's the
disgusting
worst.
road water.
What about Cece? What's the game plan?
I already told Sheepy, I don't know what more he wants me to say. She's gonna go to her lover in the hospital.
Okay, well then we're good. We already know.
I could play your lover.
Oh, Cersei,
My love, have you awakened?
my eyes doth be open to your visit.
Oh my god, the drama, the pure drama.
You like hold his head. You totally didn't get attacked or anything. you
I
just
was
fell.
never attacked.
I feel super weird.
Oh, hey there, Sheepy.
So, Sheepy, on
going on?
review, I'm headed to George's place, Will's headed home, and Cece's headed to the hospital to visit Rodney, I think.
Okay.
He's there and they're holding each other, okay?
So, Will, as you are headed home,
Dodging between awnings, trying to stay dry-ish for as long as possible. He will get drenched,
Impossible.
but he's trying to delay it to the end of the main street.
Challenge,
essentially.
challenge rating impossible, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
you are yanked to a stop as you hear the jangling of chains.
I'm so sorry.
And a second later, you find yourself flying backwards on your back, back towards the school, like kicking up water basically like.
Oh, okay.
So,
So it's like
apologies.
I came to the end of the leash.
Yeah.
More like you're being reeled in, essentially.
Oh, okay. Oh, I mean, scrambling, trying to get a hold of something.
Yeah.
I imagine flying through outdoor seating furniture and parasols and all kinds of shit.
A scene from
You know,
Inception. The buildings are just
yeah.
warping around him as he
Yeah,
pulls through everything.
or any scene from a zombie film when they have the big truck coming through and you just see zombies
Yeah.
flying in a V shape. Except it's chairs.
At the same time, the camera cuts over to the school entrance, where the chain is like jangling and pulling in through the front door. A figure walks out past the chains and out into the main street.
I'd like to. I think this is the situation, Sheepy, where everything just goes like panic mode because he doesn't know what the fuck is happening. So he goes like ice cold, like fight or flight. The arms and legs go cold, and all the heat just goes to the to the internal organs to kind of stay alive.
What I will say before you kick off is, in the current situation, you are unable to manifest anything.
Oh no! But I still think that happens.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
'cause
Oh
it's-
yeah. You 100% do.
Yeah, it's oh shit. Yeah, and then
This will
I
be
keep,
fuel for future anger.
Yeah, and then I when I get home, I invest in Sablon.
Yes. Luckily, it is raining and quite wet, and you are on your
that's true.
backpack, so like.
Oh no!
Yeah,
That's even worse.
I know.
My books.
Yeah, your books might get a little ruined.
No.
I hope my covering thing is made out of hard ceramics or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Teflon. Yeah. So keep sliding towards the school. I
Yes, you
guess.
keep sliding towards the school.
Wish I had a skateboard. It would be so much more comfortable.
Cutting back to George. You hear the clank of chains, and you hear the like snap of one of the links just breaking and the chains dissolve, and you feel a rising of something. Essentially, in your mind's eye, you see two eyes opening. And as you feel a consciousness rising within you, you feel your own consciousness dimming, and everything goes black.
That vibe when you're both passing out and waking up at the same time.
I feel like she'd give into it. Like I was thinking about it when you were narrating the scene. Like I feel like the moment she even heard the change, she'd remember the emotions feed it, and she would just like dump everything, which is the worst case scenario. Like really gasoline on the fire, but like instinctually, and because she's fading, so less of her actual like logical thought is there. It's just more like the animal part of her, probably being like, take over, strong arm.
Get him. Get him.
And
And we all are scared.
and you find yourself face to face with Chef Jeff. Hey, good.
Sub.
Back here again, huh?
Yeah, on purpose this time. I need your help.
It's not really in my hands anymore.
I think that was kind of the point. Did I super fuck up?
Yeah.
Figured it was bound to happen. Only 5 years left. Bitch can get a little restless.
Unfortunately, Charybdis has been getting stronger.
The new teenage girl was probably a great place to nest, huh?
Well, Quail Town was a great place to rest.
Oh.
All
So it
that.
was another one of those wrong place, wrong times.
Well, for you. For us.
Yeah, but you're just a projection, right? Aren't you just
Just a remnant.
kind of cribbed talking me into going to sleep?
Oh, no. I'm me. Such as I am.
So do you know that other one?
We spoke once.
What's up with that? Is there a whole teammate in there?
Previous vessel, owner, container, another remnant. Girl
Sick.
before me.
Yeah, that's the one I think I don't know why, ran into.
Easier for me.
Fairy?
More recent.
Yeah?
I suspect this is probably where I get off.
I was kind of hoping we all would. Kind of jump that train.
No. I'm kinda hoping you survive this. Although
I
it's
didn't think I could.
gonna be rough either way.
I can survive this.
Hopefully.
Huh. I may have not been so reckless had I known that. Well,
What?
that sucks. Because I think I just tapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the camera like swerves to the side, and we see George with her mouth like fully open. It is like wide, and there is this
Jaw
kind
to the
of,
ground.
there is this kind of like whirlpool of water and debris like swirling around her open maw, and as it does, one of the like snake-like tentacles flies out and grasps onto Casey, or the drowned man, around the neck. He doesn't fight it, he doesn't do anything about it, and it drags him in. And he disappears with like a very slight sploosh.
It's the best detail ever.
And at that point, George's head tips back until the maw is pointed towards the sky, and she slowly starts to sink into the ground as the snake head tentacles start to fly out of this growing whirlpool maw, and it hits like a tree, it hits a bird and like drags it in. It starts to tear apart the area around it. I will say that Joel very much can see this, and very much is essentially running away a little bit. He doesn't completely run away. Like, there's kind of like a like, George, you know, kind of like panic, and then it's like maybe the tree near him gets like hit by one of these snakehead tentacles, and it just like goes straight through the tree trunk, and the tree like collapses, and he's like, and then just starts like backing up quickly, like like a little bit away from it.
Oh, he'll be okay.
And
Yeah.
I think it's appropriate enough to throw in this to CC. As you're headed back, it is something in the periphery of your consciousness, but you do feel a slight like epicenter of fear in animals in the QT, kind of like in an area, and also the disappearance. Like, you don't experience death when an animal dies. Like, that would be ridiculous. But you can, to a certain degree, if you concentrate on it, notice that animals are, like, the consciousnesses are disappearing to a degree.
This is concerning. Oh. Shit, there aren't any mobile phones yet. Curse this
I know.
decade.
Damn you, 90s!
You just started driving really fast and sweaty.
Yeah, that's a concerning feeling. So I think as she's up until this point, she was sitting in her car, probably singing along to like. Did Taylor Swift already like release some of her bops back then? No, I think it's a bit too early for that. I want the same vibe though.
Dude, Britney Spears was the vibe.
I was gonna say,
Okay,
like,
own it.
yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
So
or
she's
I'm a genie in a bottle, just saying.
Christina Aguilera, yeah, you got pop. It's
Brit-
just like
Britney
they're all
Spears is
broken.
good. So she's sitting in her car, just singing along loudly, because it's like raining. It's a whole vibe, you know. And she is thinking about going to the hospital and seeing her little boyfriend. After so much shit has gone down, she's like, oh my god, I'm gonna like go back to him and see him, and like we're gonna hold hands and everything's gonna be fine again. So she's like doing that in the rain, and suddenly she like, I think she breaks abruptly, and she like has that very concerning feeling of suddenly a lot of life being consumed.
Imagine it's like
Disappearing.
lights going out.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. Normally in this situation, first thing she would do is contact Mr. Knight.
Yeah.
But she's a new sort of trying to be independent young lady. She's like, God, shit is already going down. In her head, this is the colleagues that have already arrived in town and are doing some fucked up shit. I guess, oh god, she would want to contact Tori, but no phones. So, oh wait, she could. She'll drive to the nearest payphone, and she will try to call Tori's house.
Okay. I would say that, yep, you drive and nearest payphone, ding ding ding, and you hear Whitlock residence.
Does it sound like
Yeah.
one of the kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, it's Cecilia here. Is your big sister Victoria at home?
She's out right now.
Oh, she hasn't been home yet?
No.
All right. I think it's time you head to bed. It's way too late for you to be up. good night, and she hangs up.
Yeah.
um, and I think she'll quickly try to do the same with the other two, probably having the exact same thing where someone else in the family picks up. It's like, fuck, they're not home.
Alyssa with those infomercials blaring in the background. Bowflex, the right way to a perfect body. George isn't here right now.
As a very quick sidebar, the song playing is Britney Spears' "Crazy." You know I'm crazy.
I love that song.
I'm in too deep.
All right. After having quickly called every single household of the other three and getting no answer, she's like, "Oh well, fuck." But then she remembers she just left school, and George and Will left as well, both of them by foot. So she will do the very like cool brake, go in reverse, go back, spin, and then like drive back the way you came.
Oh yeah.
Not exceeding the speed limit though.
Of course.
No. A cool maneuver, but not a dangerous one,
Yeah.
obviously. Yes,
Yep.
only cool, not dangerous.
So yeah, and she will drive back because she thinks, oh, the two of them left and they are walking, so I might be able to find them, tell them about what like I'm feeling, because I don't have a sense of geography. I just know that's like in this end the area of town. So yeah.
Okay. And as a reminder to me, Tori is going to George's house.
That was the plan. I sort of had this mental image of like being there
trying.
when there's a call, you know what I mean? But yes, I'm on my way to George's.
Oh, it could be cool.
That is a good point, yeah.
Could be cool that she's at George's house when there's
Yeah.
a call though.
That's what I'm saying. We just like wind it back a little bit. I'm already there. I'm waiting.
It
And my
could be
family
out
does know
George.
Tori, so it wouldn't be
Yeah.
odd for Alyssa to invite her in and like, you
Yeah.
know, do you want some like really old Kool-Aid?
No, I'm good. Go back
So-
to your go back to your infomercials, kid.
So yeah, we can
Um,
wind back.
There is a ring at of the house phone. Alyssa like gets up and goes and answers it and says, "Hello, hello."
Hey, you're George's little sister, right?
Yeah.
Is George at home?
No.
No. Oh yeah, you're talking to Cecilia, George's high school
Hello,
friend.
Cecilia.
You're just such a
Tori-
good little kid, I just have to say.
Tori hears that and goes like, Alyssa, can I, you know?
All right. Well,
Cecilia, George isn't here, but Tori wants to speak to you. Sorry, Victoria wants to speak to you.
why is Victoria at?
I just take the phone, like, yeah. I'm like, you're looking for George as well?
Oh, hey, Tori. Yeah, I was looking for you as well, but you weren't at home. So coincidence that you're at
Yeah, I'm not
George's
at home.
house.
I'm here at George's place, but George isn't here.
Yeah, no, I noticed. There's some possibly fucked up stuff happening. I don't know exactly where, but I wanted to like let you guys know. George and Will were walking away from school, so I'm planning to go get them. But can you drive here? Do I need to pick you up?
No, I'm
or
good.
if
I
you
got
don't
my-
want
I
to get
have-
involved, that's perfectly fine.
I have my car. What I'll do is I'll drive from here the way that George would walk to school, and if they're coming back here, then I'll run into them at some point along
Okay,
the way.
very, very quick rundown for you. There's some very bad, like, kind of monster hunters coming to town.
Yeah, I'm already covered on that. I talked to Gray. Hangs up. Like,
Click. Holy shit.
So heckin'
Good.
rude, man.
And then she as it's like hung up, she says like, We'll see you later as well, Tori. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling. Bye. And she like
Butthole.
she hangs the phone back, goes to the car, and then does the little thing to go back.
Yeah. At around about the same time, Will gets dragged into the school, into a specific classroom.
Bodily.
And, yeah, you hear, Mr. Ashford say, Will, glad you could make it.
Do I land softly or do I end by going into something?
Fucking
kinda
forgot
like-
you were flying by the chain. I was like, what is
Yeah, just-
happening?
You just kind of skid to a halt.
I imagine like 30 seconds ago, someone walking down the street, you just see bouncing down the fucking.
Yeah, you just kind of skid to a halt, maybe like slide very slightly again, not heavily or anything. You're not going breakneck speed.
Yeah.
It almost makes it weirder. Yeah.
It's great. I can do that with this microphone. Okay, so Will kind of lies on the floor for a bit and is like, "What just happened?"
We need to get going.
Where are we going?
We're going to go and see if we can help George.
Okay. Is this really the best way? Ow! Ow! I think I sprained everything.
Well, hopefully you can still walk, because I'm going to need your help.
My dad's got one of those Motorola Novadex thing. Really handy.
If you could see your way to helping me up, I'm going to need you to get me to George, please.
Will kind of rolls over and looks at him. What am I looking at?
He's sat in his chair, and his his shirt and his jacket are half off of his shoulder, and you see that like ice wound is like a bit larger and a bit like further extended, and is also quite heavily red in the center, and yeah.
Will ask Asher, like, should I heat that up? Would that help?
Not so far. And we don't really have time to do anything about it right now.
Hang on. And he kind of tries to roll over. I imagine he's stuck like a turtle on his back. And he rolls over and gets up and brushes off and realizes trousers are absolutely fucking torn to pieces. And he gets over to Ashford and helps him up out of the chair.
And he kind of like gets up and like wobbles and essentially like puts his hand, like quite a lot of weight as well, just FYI, on your shoulder. And he says, I'm a little bit tired, so let's go as fast as we can. But if I pass out, smack me awake.
Fast as we can.
Yeah.
Will looks at him like, because I could probably help a bit more if I, Are we in that much of a hurry?
Yeah.
Okay. And will probably analyze the situation to extract something from it in the ways of, okay, I'm drenched, my trousers are absolutely shredded, I'm uncomfortable, I hurt everywhere, I've been dragged across town, I'm not happy, and he will use that to bring the arm out.
And the arm extends and reddens and scales and claws, and
yeah, and he'll help Ashford with that arm because it's considerably stronger than Willis. So
and just FYI, I know the arm is stronger and does lend you a
Yeah.
decent amount of weight, but even still, Ashford feels pretty light.
Oh yeah. Okay. He feels pretty light.
Light.
Oh really? Okay. Well, in that case, fucking boogie on down the road.
Yeah. And you head out. As you go, he says, as you're kind of
Oh,
like
before we leave, actually,
Yeah.
is there like, cause what does he teach mainly?
history.
History. So I was imagining maybe he's got like old objects and stuff that he shows off, and maybe I'm imagining he's got the gloves, like nitrile gloves or something so you can handle delicate objects without breaking them. Because I don't want to walk around with a giant fucking hand overtly.
The school is empty at this point, and
Oh,
everyone's
okay.
headed home. So
It's a
it-
town empty
it
because
should
we're
be
going outside. Okay, well anyway, he'll jerk him up and if
Soon
it's
the
light,
town
he'll-
will be empty.
Yeah, exactly. Well, soon the town will be the X town, but yeah, he'll essentially pick him up and run out as fast as he can.
Yeah, and as you're heading out towards the door and everything, he says, might be a bit early for this, but I feel like no time like the present. Will, your debt to me is done. You don't owe me anything anymore. And you hear like a clink of chains, and the chain that has been like wrapped inside you, one of the links breaks, another of the links breaks, and then it kind of dissolves.
Okay.
And you feel...
Does it feel any different?
I would say you feel a burden you didn't realize was there kind of get lifted.
Oh, okay.
I would say is the best way to describe
So
that.
for someone who has had asthma all their life and all of a sudden they get an inhaler,
Yeah.
you're
something-
like, oh my god, I can breathe.
It was never like bad or uncomfortable or anything. It was almost like a vague like feeling of pressure, I guess.
Yeah, okay. When he says that though, we'll probably go, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Where's George? And then find the door and
And
get
as
outside.
you go out, he points down the road towards.
Okay, and will boogie on down that way.
Yeah. At the same time,
By the way, Will is not giving a shit about backpacks, rain, any of that. If he's got like maybe 4 friends,
yeah.
and if one of them's in danger, he's gonna. That's his priority. Nothing else matters right now.
At the same time, in the road, a figure emerges from the mist around about where George is slowly sinking into the ground, and says, essentially, well, hey there, beastie. I think you and me need to have a word. And Bella walks forwards towards George. One of the snakehead's tentacles like flies out of the moor and flies towards her. She catches it in her hand, and then like it just slams onto the floor. And she holds it there for a half second, gets back up and starts walking towards it again. And another one like flies out, and the same thing happens. She like grabs it and then like down on the floor, gets up and starts walking. She's like, "We really do need a word about my sister." And
Sorry, Cece's already there apparently.
Blackie out of nowhere.
Yeah. And then we return to George in the
Woof.
in the void of blackness.
That woof got me so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it scares the shit out of me too. They're so sudden.
Where did we leave off with Jeff? Did he?
I said, I just tapped out and I think we're fucked. And he said, yep. And I said, yep.
In that case.
And then we clipped to my mouth wide open.
Yeah. In that case, he says, I wish I could help, but I don't think I'm going to be here much longer.
That's cool, man. I appreciated these little talks while they lasted. Wherever you go. Nothingness, I guess.
And you can kind of see him like shifting a little bit to the side, almost like he's being pulled. And as he like starts to fade out and dissipate, he like slowly disappears into the blackness. He says, "Good luck, George." And
Well, shit.
then walking out of the darkness is a small girl. Again,
Oh, god damn it.
as I said before, she's a teenager. She's not. She is quite small in frame. Like, you know, she looks a bit younger than she actually is. But and she says, "Hey."
Oh, hey. Do I have to go through all of you? Is this like a hell?
No,
Oh, okay.
I just thought you'd like some company.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I thought maybe I was gonna have to like have some heartfelt talk and just watch anything dissolve that ever had that in it. You know, that's a lot.
It's best not to watch. It's not the best.
To watch?
Hmm.
Watch what?
Um.
This.
Perilous. Eating, destroying,
Oh.
consuming.
Huh. Never really thought about it. No one's really given me like a full-on description of what goes down.
It's best if you don't really know.
I mean, you know, normally when I like go back up, I don't know how to put that. Nothing's like physically different.
No, it reverts? I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah. I was thinking maybe like it burst out of me and my skin flesh went flying and it had to grow a new one every time. I don't know, like a werewolf.
I don't think so. I'm not even sure that that's how werewolves work.
Me neither. Are those real?
I never met one, but I didn't have much time before.
Yeah, you had like less than a year or something, right?
A couple of weeks.
Some weeks?
Yeah.
I kind of accidentally did that. Huh. Not a plan, but, you know, like, I don't know what else to do. There's a dude up there stuck my feet in the ground and started drip dropping at me, claiming to be a friend. So I
Okay.
tapped out.
Well, you were... Once the chain broke, it was going to happen anyway, even if you didn't choose to.
Oh. Is that what Ashford meant when he said, like, raising my debt all the time?
He can, limit the influence, the manifestation to a degree. Unfortunately for us, it's never enough, and if we get hit with a hard enough, emotional, then it just breaks.
Oops. So now what? I don't feel anything. Like I physically don't feel anything.
No, you're not. You're not in control of yourself now. So,
Yeah, I kind of did that on purpose. I didn't really know what to do as myself. In hindsight, bad plan. But what would you have done?
I died. But
Was on on purpose?
no, slightly.
Oh. Then what happened to this thing?
It moved.
So it just there's no ending it.
Maybe.
It's like a flea. Just kind of hop, skips, jumps.
It's quite difficult to destroy.
Do you know what happens at 5 years? If you make it there?
Well, that's a vague estimation of how long the average person or anyone can really hold on. For me, it was less time. And if you, as I said, if you get shocked or angry too much or it's less time.
So like a missing bestie coming back from the dead as some creepy drowned thing is like on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Cool. You guys should decorate.
There's not really
This
much
is,
here.
It's pretty stark. You
But-
think of all the things little Cribby eats. Could hang up a poster or two.
But I'll stay with you till the end.
Is that like a long time? Not that you're not wonderful. This is just like, I don't have feet here.
Most likely not too long. I imagine either Ella or Ruben will come and deal with it.
So you want to play like cards or something?
We don't have any cards.
Can we request a card consumption? A menu?
Why don't you tell me about your friends?
Don't you live inside me? Can't you just like access that? There's Joel, who's a genius. Valedictorian even. One of those, doesn't try hard. There's Will. Burnt out. I'm sorry, this is a lie. I'm just so bored. I don't know. Will's a nerd. He's got the devil inside of him, I think. His eye burns like a rash. Tori's a big, multi-headed lizard snake that needs pond water. Cece's brainwashed by a teacher. I still don't know what's going on there. And Joel has no idea, I think. Well, until now. Probably. Unless he was seriously that high. But didn't the other story sound so much more real?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a puka living under my bed.
What's a poker?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like a monkey cat that talks and eats bread and milk. I don't know. He's kind of cute, to be honest. It smells like vanilla. It's weird. Do you have friends
I did.
that were maybe less complicated?
Possibly more complicated.
Oh, so is that just the thing?
The thing?
Like we finally start to accept puberty, the hair and the pimples and the everything else, and suddenly it's like supernatural death.
I guess. I mean, it's kind of what happened for me. But
You're my only source.
then I got a bit of a shock and lost control, and then destroyed like a town and a half and killed quite a few people. And then
What town?
was killed.
What town?
It was nondescript, random Louisville or Jambalaya town.
Oh yeah, yeah. I heard like a mine was on fire under that town and everybody just like bailed, right?
No, that was me.
Badass. You made it into the history books, kind of.
Luckily, they stopped me before it got too bad.
Oh, so people can stop me. Well, that'd be, I don't know, good? Bad?
It depends. It kind of... You die. So...
I mean, our options. It's like, I die and the thing jumps somewhere else, or it stays and eats everything. Like, we don't, I mean, it's a shart and a fart. I don't know what, like, is there a bright side here at all?
No.
Then I say let it consume everything and fuck it. Why do we keep just fighting it every 30 years or however old our teachers are? They're like 84 or something, right? I don't know, they're wrinkly. What's the point? For what?
Well, because otherwise... everyone dies? Well...
Yeah, but no one's here to lament that, so like, fuck it. Do you want to live in this forever? And just like warn people like me forever of, you know, city eater?
Mostly, it's kind of like going to sleep and occasionally waking up.
So, like, life?
No.
I nap a lot.
I mean, I have memories. I can remember things that stand out from when I was me. But
Yeah, I don't want this. I say we let it go.
okay.
You sound like a bad recording.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean that as an insult, but obviously you've lost pieces of yourself, and this seems like a dire existence. I don't want this. Do the people up there want to fight this forever? Like, who's it gonna jump to?
Someone else?
Some other little kid?
Maybe.
Yuck. Seems like a terrible idea.
Well, unfortunately, you don't have much of a choice anymore.
No, I'm just passing the time.
Oh.
I don't know what else to do here with you. We don't have cards or posters or color crayons. Might as well theorize the impossible.
Okay, you can do that. And the camera, the camera cuts away and up to.
So like unicorns, bro. You've never heard of a unicorn.
And up to Will and Ashford, who have just got to the to essentially seeing George. At this point,
cool.
She is kind of up to about her shoulders in the ground,
Who knew?
and there is like a whirlpool of snakehead tentacles like flying out.
Yeah, she hungry. Hungry hippo.
You also see Bella, who is kind of having she's gotten fairly close, but she's kind of having a bit of a grapple with the snakeheads, and there's quite a few like pinned to the ground in her wake behind her, kind of struggling and twisting a little bit, but unable to move.
I get there when I'm looking at him to do something. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do.
Ashford like squeezes your shoulder very slightly and says, "Thank you for getting me here. I think I can take it from this point."
Sure, you don't look great, honestly.
Rude.
Yeah, right.
And he like straightens up and starts to walk forward and says, "Bella, sorry about this." And as she like turns around, a whole load of chains like fly out from his sides and wrap around her, and then fling her, like just go flying off into the distance until she like disappears from sight.
Yeah, he's got chains to spare now.
And then as he I think he pauses for a second, because honestly, like, you know, how can things get worse? And turns back around towards you, and he says, "I'm glad that you and George brought Cecilia back from the brink.
Yeah, me too.
It made my choice a lot easier."
Choice?
And then he turns around and walks forward, and the snake head tentacles like fly out and start flying at him. And as he walks forward, the chains fly out and start like wrapping around them and like ripping them apart.
Oh, okay. Snake chains.
And he keeps walking forwards until he gets quite close enough to like reach out, and he reaches out and grabs George's shoulder and slowly pulls her out of the ground.
Oh, out of the sinkhole?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, he's ripped. Okay.
Until she's and the chains help, obviously, so the chains around. Until,
Yeah, he's got a hook on you. He's basically a tow truck.
Until she's like just standing there now, and then the chains like release her and like, you know, kind of go back, and then he turns around and looks at you and puts his hand up, and then one of the snake heads like reaches out and hits like clamps onto his shoulder, drags him into the water, and he disappears.
Will kind of goes.
Just for the record, I'm not role playing my mouth open.
I think at
I don't think you can go that wide, Kenny.
No, my jaw just literally dropped.
I think at,
Oh,
I think at this point is probably when, to a degree, at the same time, both Cecilia and Tori arrive and see George standing there. Obviously, you probably don't get too close. Cecilia, you'll come from the side that Will is at, so you'll probably be close to Will. But what I will say, for the sake of you know, time, is essentially you see the thing, you go, "Oh, holy crap!" both of you, and both make your way around to Will, who is standing there. And yeah,
in tattered shorts.
again, for the sake of essentially time, I think there will be as we switch back to George, there will be a exchange between the three of you, whereby Will explains what the fuck is going on to the best of his knowledge, so that when we switch back, you're caught up.
How are we?
All
by
of them
the way,
just standing
how
there
are
mouth
we?
agape like,
Yeah.
how are we? Because this is still a vortex, right? So
Yeah.
is Will standing far enough so that the thing isn't like in reach?
So the way the snakehead tentacles are kind of working right now is they're darting out and hitting things that are close by. Sometimes it's the ground, sometimes you are stood far back enough away that it's targeting other things for now.
I imagine it's kind of like a sea anemone. Like they go out, grab something, come back in.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, if one of the snakeheads shoots out towards Will, he still has his arm, so he's gonna slap the fuck out of that snakehead.
Slap that snake fucker.
okay, I will try to do something. I'm glad to just roll for it, but I'm like good to do it after you have another scene with George.
Okay.
I want to try to possibly minimize the damage, but we'll see.
Right. George, you are shooting the shit with with Faye, and
All hyenas do have penises. I swear to you. Stop arguing. If you could see my face, you'd see how serious I am right now.
and at a certain point she like looks behind you and smiles, and says, "Hey, Ruben."
My disembodied body will spin.
And Mr. Ashford kind of steps forward out of the darkness with like a little smile on his face. He also has a skeleton in a robe that is hanging over his shoulder, which
You guys get bodies?
you can see for the first time.
Both of you get a body?
Hey, George. How you doing?
George isn't home right now. Please leave a tone at the skeleton on your shoulder.
Don't worry about that right now. How you doing, Faye? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. Nice to see you again. I take it you still haven't figured out an answer. And she says, hope you're okay.
Wait, Eva. But how are you? Can I tap out of this one too? I'm tired.
I was part of the occult research group who looked into with Bertrand and Bella, my sister.
So you kind of stirred this shit up. Cool.
And
Thanks for that.
Ashford says, not really. This is something that happened to us when we were investigating. It's not really Faye's fault.
Okay.
Technically speaking, it's my fault and Bertrand's fault.
Thanks.
We didn't know that stress and emotion is a trigger. So
Why, while in high school, did you decide to research magic?
college.
What?
We
Okay,
were in
why?
college.
Bigger why?
Seemed interesting at the time.
Okay, can you pick up more interesting hobbies in your next life that don't, curse 3 generations later?
I'll see what I can do. But as a note, these things were happening already. We just stumbled onto it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what now? To the party?
And
Why are you here?
Faye says, probably here for the same reason as last time. To kill you and stop Charybdis from ripping apart the entire town and killing lots of people. Sorry.
Perfect. Can you do better this time?
I have a different plan.
Because, you super failed last time. Apparently. According to Fairy over here.
I have a different plan this time.
Okay. I don't want to be stuck in this. Like one of those Jeffs.
You won't be.
Are you gonna be a Jeff?
No.
Is she gonna be a Jeff?
I'm gonna take over.
Yeah, but then you'll die with it, and then it'll just jump to someone else.
I am not planning on letting that happen. Both myself and the burden and Charybdis will be torn apart.
Alright, sick.
And hopefully, everything will be fine after that. But, if it's not, tell Tori and Cecilia and Will, you're gonna have to deal with what comes after.
Oh, goody.
Now,
So, like, we're all gonna be stuck still, like, you know, with weird demons or whatever, like, just without an adult to ask about it after this, and this might potentially not work? How did you get a job as a teacher?
I'm not a teacher.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Now, if you don't mind, George, could you stop being quite such a grumpy teenager and fuck off out of here?
I would love to. I've been stuck in this fucking... And she just gets cut off, I imagine. Just disappears.
Yes, as
Blink.
well,
As she's bitching.
more than that, as she's like ranting and bitching, the skeleton over his shoulder in the robe, like its mouth opens, a little bit of steam comes out as it goes like, and like,
And what is that?
chains
Ew.
fly out and wrap around her, especially over her mouth, and then she gets like propelled up into nothingness and disappears into the blackness.
Coolest Christmas ornament ever.
The camera stays in the void for a second, and Ashford turns back to Faye and says, you know, part of me really wishes I could get an answer from you as to who you choose between me and Bertrand. I think at this point it really doesn't matter too much. And then she kind of like looks down and kicks at nothingness, like swings her leg, and she says, I don't really have the ability to think like that anymore. And Ashford says, oh no. But let's bring this house down, shall we? And like just spurting from his body, kind of spraying blood everywhere essentially, chains just go flying out in all directions and into the blackness. And the camera cuts away from that to the real world, let's call it, as the snakehead tentacles, the maw itself, start to shrink and to lessen. I imagine a couple of the snake heads actually fly out with like chains on them, like chains wrapped around them, and then start like pulling them back in. And a couple of chains like splash out and hit the sides of the whirlpool and start like dragging it inwards. And let me just switch here to
Ew.
start like pulling it inwards, and essentially within maybe 30 seconds it has completely disappeared, and George's like mouth has started to close and set, and George, you come back to consciousness, just standing in the middle of the road in the rain.
standing? Alright.
But much like last time when you came back, you just open your eyes and you're like, oh, holy crap, what's happening?
Oh, holy crap. What's happening?
Uh,
I'd probably I imagine I'd cough and look around at, what am I looking at? What's there? Am I alone?
Rain
If I'm alone, I run home.
and, well, no, you're not alone.
Okay.
There is,
bunch of losers
Tori,
at the side.
Cece, and Will on the road, just down the road a little ways.
And
Just
Joel.
standing there together, like Power Rangers.
Yeah, because I imagine scratching the original idea, I would have had the three of us and Joel if he is there indeed.
Yeah, I'll address Joel in a second.
Okay, sure. So if he's not there, going from that, I would have asked the three of us to stand together to kind of form a barrier around us, to keep us safe while we were probably figuring out what the hell to do with the swirling vortex mass. So I would imagine the three of us stand pretty close together, and then suddenly when that happens, I'll probably drop the barrier.
Yeah, the barrier comes down.
Will runs up to George.
Yeah, I think I'm following after him.
Do we go so far as a hug, or is it just a run up and stop?
I think she'd back away from them if they ran at her and be like, "Don't touch me." Not because of anti-hugs, but because of what just
because
I'm imagining she's seeing a good quarter-mile clear-cut area right now.
Would Will stop if she does that?
If she says "Don't touch me," he'd stop. Yeah.
Cecilia doesn't. Cecilia bolts for you.
Tori's
I'd
busy
probably
looking
arms out
for
to start
any
screaming
potential
"I
bad
might eat you though!"
and as that tableau happens, you also hear a squish, squish, squish as Joel finishes walking up the hill, and he stops and stands there. He's like, I don't think I'm high enough to have imagined that, right?
Will looks at everything around and looks at Joel and goes,
Yeah.
"Dude, you're so high."
There's chunks ripped out of the pavement.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the
Will still
roots of
tries to
giant
convince
trees
him.
and
trees and
Yeah.
stuff.
Will tries to convince him that it's just high.
And he walks up and he's like, "You had snakes in your mouth?"
You're so high, man.
I'd probably kind of walk towards him and kind of look him over and see if he's injured at all, and very uncharacteristically do it, slowly hug him and just start to cry. I think she'd just she probably that whole time, I mean, honestly, she was being very cold and calculated because she thought she ate him. If that was what was gonna happen, he was so close by, chances are she fucking just disintegrated him.
Yeah.
And that's what she truly thought. She didn't think she'd come back to that, and that's why she didn't want to come back. She fucked up.
He's like, "Hey, oh, it's okay.
Shut up, man.
No.
Shut up. Stop." She's gonna fingers on his mouth. Shut. Let me. Okay, we never speak of this again.
The whole thing, or? Because I feel we kind of need to talk about the lady who was trying to attack you, and...
What lady?
Oh, I didn't know she was...
You guys see a lady?
Hello.
Tori just looks to George and is like, "How much do you want him not to remember this?"
Fully expecting her friends to
Look.
go along with it, and they didn't. She will sigh and look at him and say, "Oh, we have some talking to do, I guess."
But when you George asks if was there a lady, Will goes, "Yeah, Bella."
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, no problem.
No, not you. You're
Oh.
fine.
No problem?
Yeah. I guess
Question
we
mark?
have stuff to talk about.
And so, what happens now is that, like, I'm not really sure what was going on, but is it over now?
I'm kind of hungry.
I could eat.
It is raining.
As a note, George, you don't feel that void anymore.
I was actually kind of imagining she feels like true hunger for the first time in quite some time.
Yeah. She
Oh
feels
my god, she hasn't actually
Yeah.
felt hunger. Oh my god.
Well, that's according
Yeah,
to Sheepy, like the glutton, you never are full. Like no matter what you do, you have a void.
always-
You're hungry forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to break up the party. Tori says, standing in the rain, looking more drowned rat than Tori's ever looked in her fucking life.
Yeah.
I don't want to break up the party, but there's more issues than just this on their way here.
I think you might want to leave this street, this area right now.
Yeah, there's like a burger joint up the street if you guys want to hit it.
What do you mean? Like, it's not what? Like, there's other
Cops, bro. Fucking cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tori looks super frustrated that we're doing this like talk around the muggle thing.
Yeah.
At this point, I will notice Tori is there, and I will be like silently acknowledging she has a car, and she's going to drive us to said burger, and I'll be walking there and like getting in the car.
Oh,
Just, like, in a
before
daze.
Joel notices, Will kind of turns around so he can't see his right arm and tries to get rid of the devil's arm really quick.
That's got to be an awkward behind image.
Yeah, very awkward, very awkward. Or the pull the sleeve down on the jacket and tuck the arm in until it goes away.
Doing Napoleon.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
exactly. Just stick it in like that.
See-
No, I'm fine. I'm just
See you,
short.
like walking over to the car. Tori's
Yeah, I
like,
imagine like with Joel,
"Alright,
and as I'm pushing
fine."
him in, I start explaining the parasite that I had in my stomach or something.
And as you start explaining and everything, as you all start, kind of congregating and walking towards one of the cars, the camera like flattens looking down and pans up, and above you, there is a maelstrom of like. If Will had his eye out, he'd be able to see it is like swirling energy, and it is massive. And as you're walking, a lightning bolt just flies out of it and hits the ground in front of you guys and flings you all back with the shockwave, so that you just like smash into the ground, into a tree, like anything along those lines. You go like skidding across the ground, and there
again.
is
I'm dead.
a thunderclap, almost as it hits, and the rain just stops. And there is probably a like a second or two of that kind of like shell shock, like ringing in your ears and etc. I will say, once you have managed to kind of get your senses around you and essentially come stood back up and be like, what the hell is going on? There is a crack in the ground, in the pavement, that is just a jagged scar, like about 10 meters across, in the ground.
George's neck is snapped because she's presumptuously not supernatural anymore and just got flung a bunch of feet.
No. It doesn't kill you.
Okay. I'd
People
probably like
started getting
start
hit by
sitting up
lightning
and
strikes.
like
You weren't even
Yeah,
hit.
you weren't hit by the lightning.
no, but like if we're all flung by the power of electricity,
I
that's
just
strong,
got dragged
like, I ain't gonna be
halfway
okay.
across town.
I
on my
may-
But you're
fucking ass.
supernatural, bitch.
I may have been a little bit over dramatic in quite how
I'm just
far you get
asking.
flung.
Like she deserves it.
She deserves a broken neck.
I mean, I wasn't gonna put it past you. Just saying. I just wanted to be clear. Like, am I alive?
I imagine
Like,
a George-shaped hole in a wall somewhere, like
just a burned like char.
yeah, exactly. Your shadow on a wall. That's all that's
Yeah.
left.
I think take a look at giant hole in the ground where
Yeah.
lightning strike.
Yeah. And as you
See if there's anyone.
Not again.
Sheepy, I will have a look.
if you're having a look, then yeah, it is like surrounded by and pulsating with just like this kind of smoky, dark like mist.
Does it? Okay. Is it spreading?
No, however, it does condense and get stronger as an arm like comes out of the crack.
Oh, fuck you.
It is long arm and like very kind of like best way to describe it is Nightmare Before Christmas, like Jack Skellington, kind of like thin and
Skelly arm.
with a like a robe with frayed edges, you know, so it's kind of like very tattered at the end of these robes as this completely pale white head kind of rises out as it pushes itself out of the crack, and it fixes on you, Will, with these like yellow pupils.
I was gonna say, can anyone else see it, or is it just me?
You can all see it.
How
Oh.
big is it?
I would say around about 7 foot.
Okay, so it's big. Okay, that's how I was picturing it. I was just making sure.
And as it pulls itself out, you realize that its arms go all the way down to the floor. Like they essentially, and as it starts to move, its hands like drag across the floor, and it's got like these like ridiculous long skinny elbow arms, and as it comes out, you are all kind of coated in this sense of like fear and trepidation, and when its eyes fix on you, Will, you feel like that burst of adrenaline you get when you get like a jump scare or something. Like
Okay.
it just like pulses into you.
Yeah.
And you all hear it say like, where am I? And it like looks around and it looks at you. If any of you like look it in the eye, you'll get that same pulse of like adrenaline shock kind of thing. And what do I want to do?
Time to go. Tori says to like the people nearby
you,
her.
You can't talk. Like
okay.
all four of you are like frozen to the ground. And then after a second it like looks around and away like into the distance and starts to like goof goof as its hands like start dragging behind it as it starts walking off down the road. And then
Question.
yes.
Can it do? If I look at Joel, is he like looking at it, like he can see it?
Yes.
Question mark?
No, sorry. Yes, he is.
Oh, okay, so it's not like only supernatural people can see it or something like that. Oh yeah, George wouldn't be able to see it anyway. No. Yeah. Okay.
And then, another hand,
Oh no.
and another figure pushes itself out of the crack in the ground. This one is quite small, probably about 4 foot tall. And I will say, as this figure comes out, the sense of fear and everything starts to fade from you all, especially as the figure disappears into the distance. This new figure is in a fresh suit, looking very, very dapper. And you will notice that every now and then you can't see the lines. It's one of those like pinstripe suits. The stripes pulsate with like red glowing, like almost like a heartbeat every now and then, and it just goes like around his suit. And he steps out, and you feel not overpowering, but you feel agitated. You feel a little bit frustrated. You feel a little bit annoyed. And he looks around and his gaze fixes on George. And he starts walking towards you. And as he starts walking towards you, he slowly grows in size until he's right close to you, and he's probably about 9-10 foot tall. And he leans down and he says, "You're quite angry, aren't you?"
Gulp. Yes, sir.
Good, maybe I'll come back to say hi once I've had a look around. And then he leans back, turns around and starts to walk away. As he walks away, he shrinks in size until he's down to about 4 foot again, and then disappears. I will say at this point, you're probably not frozen. However, depending on what you want to do, another hand emerges. Quite delicate, quite petite woman pulls herself out of the crack, the scar in the ground, with a soft yellow and gold sparkly gown, very, very figure-hugging, very tight. And as she steps out, you all get overcome with a sense of satisfaction. Everything you've done has been completed. You have no more desires left to be filled. You are given a sense of serenity. And she steps out, pays no attention to any of you, looks around, heads off in a different direction, off into the field, off into the woods. And as she walks away, that sense of like serenity and everything slowly fades, and you start to feel like those everyday desires and things kind of come back to you.
In between, in between things keep calling out, I'd probably like elbow a couple and be like, should we go?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I want to watch, but also that one got so close to me.
I don't know how many figures are going to come out of this clown car.
Let's back up.
Crack.
Will doesn't want to leave because he thinks it's probably a good idea to count these fuckers to see how many there are, assuming they're not going to emerge in perpetuity. But definitely step back.
Okay, you kind of like step back and away, and like one more does step out. You see it kind of pull itself out of this like scar in the ground and dust itself off. You hear it say something. You see it pay you no heed at all, wander off in another completely direction. Basically all four of them have gone off in different directions. And you remember that it was there, and you remember that it climbed out. You can't remember what it looks like, and you can't remember anything about it or what it said. It's like everything about it just slipped out of your brain the second it arrived.
Okay.
And that, after maybe a few minutes, appears to be everything.
Is the crack in the hole in the ground still there?
Oh yeah, it stays
there. Is it still misty?
No. The energy that was there appears to have dissipated.
Completely. There's no aura or anything left.
I mean, there is aura, but it is following the ones who left.
Okay.
It's not hanging around the
Yeah. I will definitely like mark what the auras look like, So if he comes across them again, he can be like, "Oh, I recognize this shit. That's the creepy lady with the tight suit, or pinstripe man, or
You know what?
knuckle dragger."
Give me a roll.
Oh my god!
This
Get on the
will,
laptop.
this will be I can roll for you if you like.
No, that's fine. I got it.
Okay. This will be a vision thing and an aura thing. So
Okay. Let's see,
look-
I gotta maximize here so I can see what hell I'm doing.
looking through, I would say supernatural tracking, strong.
Oh yeah,
vision,
that's exactly what I'm doing. So that would track.
insight.
2 moves ahead because I want to try to do this in a way that I can remember.
Your mic is
Like,
crackling a bit, by
stretch.
the way. Just started.
Oh, is it?
randomly.
Is it okay?
It's still crackling a bit.
Ah! What's going on? Sorry, chat.
No problem.
Uh, 2 moves ahead. I was thinking because it's a strategic move to try and remember all of the things.
I would say not 2 moves ahead in this instance. We'll go.
Okay.
We'll go with the supernatural tracking, strong vision, and insight, and appraisal. Actually, so those 4. And
How about tactically minded though? Because it is tactics.
it's not really tactics. It's a.
Well, it's strategy. Okay, go for then.
This is something different to what you were trying to do. It's something you might notice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'll go as smart as well because it's essentially discerning something. So that will be 5.
Mm-hmm.
And just see.
Emotional stress, stress maybe.
I would say stress. Yeah, that will be a. So 4 will be the roll, and go with investigate on this one.
Okay, let's see. Investigation.
That is
A great success.
a great success. Good roll.
I'm on a laptop with a trackpad, chat.
So, what I can give you for this, like, because you're essentially seeing their aura, seeing the trail they're leaving behind as they haven't left, and obviously the aura itself, like, will slowly dissipate a bit and become a bit weaker and stuff. But while you're still seeing it, it doesn't look like something supernatural.
Oh, really?
And it like the standard, you know, like the Alps, for example, it doesn't have that same kind of like misty aspect to it, where it's a bit unformed. It's a lot more formed.
Okay.
And it also doesn't have the same kind of like aura or shape that the others have had when you've seen them, like Cecilia or Tori or anything.
I think Will's theory, as it is now, is these are like entities that, like the devil stuff and the cryptis and the hydra and all of that. These are entities.
It is a semi-decent theory. However, the auras don't look the same as yours. The entities inside.
Oh, they don't look like that either. Okay.
In the moment that we can feel we can move again, after having seen all of that, Susie will say, "Oh, fuck. I'll get my card later." And she runs to Tori's car, opens the back door, hops in all very quickly, sits still, and like scrunches down, holds her head like in her hands, closes her eyes, and tries to a bit desperate, I guess, because also probably a lot of the wildlife around this area disappeared just now, so it's harder than it should be, but she tries to find and grasp different strands to try to find a flying animal, but if that doesn't work, something on the ground that she can like just follow maybe at least one of these things that crawled out, basically. And it's very, again, it's very bit more hectic, a bit more difficult, I imagine, than it should be. But she this is the first thing that's in her mind, is like,
Okay.
I don't know what these things are. I honestly don't know what we're gonna do about it, but it wouldn't hurt to at least know what one of them is up to, at least know what one of them is where it's going or stuff like that.
Okay. I will say that I think probably the one that would be the easiest to notice would probably be the lady. Not just because some of the others have a different type of thing going on near them. I imagine like you try and coax, let's say, like a bird closer to you managed to see the first one who came out, the long arm draggy one. The bird essentially gets to a certain point and is like bammed full of like adrenaline and fear, which actually disrupts the control you have, and it kind of like breaks free and just like essentially flees. But with the lady, like golden shimmering, you're able to keep an animal essentially with her for a while. So yeah, you have a eyes on, let's call it. And as this has all happened, I think we're going to fade away from the group as they are, should we say, clambering into Tori's car?
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna do a like, all right, we'll go to my place and figure out what we're gonna do, and then
avoiding crack in the floor and things like that.
The world crack.
So as the camera kind of like moves away from the car, as the car like, you know, peels off and heads down the road, heads to Tori's, the group is going to essentially bundle into Tori's and be like, okay, the fuck.
Anybody seeing us on the way in, I'm just like, you forget we were here today.
yeah.
I like that Joel's been dragged along with this as well.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
Joel's just like, new friends, man, sick.
Yeah, exactly. Who's got weed?
As that happens, the camera glides away from Quail Town and kind of looks out over the expanse of America from a higher height. There is a moment hanging in the air, and then the camera moves and zooms in on a road that leads towards, eventually, the QT. There is a car driving down this road, you know, abandoned road, not abandoned road, but empty road, and there's a car driving down it with a figure sitting on top. He is blonde, blue eyes, very handsome. He has a white kind of like almost, it looks almost like a martial arts suit in a way. It's very like
almost like a gi.
Yeah, almost like that, but a bit longer with like sleeves and everything. And it's white with one red stripe down the center and a couple down the arms. And on his back is this like ornate cross, like bejeweled and golden and He is just he's sitting on the roof of the car with like his arm on his knee, and the car's just like flying down the road. The camera fades back away from that, and looks at a couple of other locations where we see, for example, kind of like shadowy figure standing on a hill with the, like, you know, big, very big bulky mass and etc. Who stopped for a second and then starts walking down like this hill into the forest. Another figure who is kind of a bit thinner, kind of flowing robes, well, not robes, but kind of like a jacket on that's quite flowing in the wind. Who is trekking down like a dirt path, again headed towards the QT, and one more figure who reaches down and kind of like strokes the air by their leg, and then also kind of straightens up and starts heading down another road, all of which are coming from different directions as we like zoom out again, all of which are headed towards the QT. And given that we're going to be heading into season 2 next time we see everyone, I think we'll end there for today.
I feel like we've done a bad.
Nah,
Like
totally
we turned
agree.
on a, like a bug.
Excuse you, we.
We? Who the
Yeah,
fuck is we?
Who's
did
we
it.
in this?
We
First
did a
person
thing.
plural, we. It's
Sheepy,
sheepy.
tell him it was we.
We in first person plural.
Really, we just need to blame it on the waitress that like stole Casey.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously.
If that had never happened, none of this would have ever. Well, actually,
Never mind.
We need to
just
blame
kidding.
it, Katie.
So, because I don't want to keep you guys here for too long, seeing as I tried to end as early as possible so we could have a chat and everything.
Yes.
If everyone's good with it, I'm going to fire off an invite to Matt, Mr.
Yeah,
Matt,
do
so he
it.
can jump
Yes,
in.
do it.
And I'll correct the cameras as he does.
No worries. I'm gonna run and pee real quick because I haven't in like 3 hours. I'm about to
yeah.
burst.
It's, I mean, I managed to.
I know.
Get
I
one.
tried, but I was like too excited.
Hope Chant has enjoyed the first season of the QT.
Yeah. So good.
I've had
Oof.
a fucking blast.
Me too. Tori's been super fun to play.
It's been so nice for me. So I talked to Sheepy about this. Like, hey, stuck as the perpetual GM, and now it's like oh no, you get to sit back and relax and play the game, and like,
Hell yeah.
and it's also very different for me because usually it's it's D&D and similar settings where it's all very rules heavy. You can always fall back on the dice. Like, I don't know how to convince you, but it's fine. I got a high diplomacy score, so I can roll for that shit.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, oh no, you need to actually convince them. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
not gonna work. It has been such a contrast, and it's so nice. And I kind of, I don't know, some people. I talked to Sheepy about this earlier as well. I don't know if people probably noticed, but Will has kind of taken a back seat a lot of the time, and
Yeah.
that's on purpose. That's been on purpose for me as well, because I also know when to take a step back and like, okay, now is not the time for my character. It's fine. I'll take a step back and be in the background for a bit.
In
and
season 2,
I-
we will drag you up front.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking to Sheepy as well. In season 2, we don't have to intro the character, and like he will already be established, so
Yeah.
we won't have to spend 5 episodes on him like saying hi to people for the first time. So that would be new as well.
Yes. And we have plans for Will, which I think will get interesting.
Yeah,
Damned Man is totally right in chat, by the way. Gray, best mentor all along, coolest guy.
Yeah.
Chillest, least problematic.
Not gonna lie, the other two just like effed off. We're like, well, I can't help you, so like, good luck.
Yeah.
I feel like Ashford helped a little bit, maybe.
But still, he went like, you deal with all the rest. I'm out of here.
He took the easy way out, yo.
Look, sometimes you go nuclear, and I'm not sure that's the right move.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, yeah. We didn't get all of the information of, like, exactly what was going on. I'm kind of okay with that, but,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie. You have to fill in the blanks yourself.
Mr. Matt here. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hey,
I
man.
Hey, how's it going,
Hello.
everybody?
It's good.
Good. How are you?
Doing great. I just finished listening to a great episode, so it's been great. Yeah,
So-
great job as always, everybody.
For those of
Thank
you who don't know, this is Mr. Matt, Mr. Commentator, or Commenter. And yeah, I've obviously heard him loads of times because he jumps in the Discord when we do like little events and just whatevers. But yeah, Mr. Matt is typical Southern gentleman, I think is the way to describe it.
Yeah, better than redneck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely tracks.
Mr. Matt, otherwise known as my notes for the entire season.
Mr. Matt, we're gonna have to come up with like a nice title for you, like abbreviator extraordinaire or
Mr.
summarizer.
Mr. Cheat Sheet.
Yeah.
I was half hoping that the moment you jumped in here, you would just like not say anything, but the moment you had to, you were gonna say, "Great episode, you guys. I don't have a lot to say though."
Well
I'll say
done.
that for a
I'm out.
comment.
So, I like my immediate thought is like I want to hear the Mr. Matt theories for season 2. Like I want to hear.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
goodness. Oh goodness. I
Or
don't
like
know if
the
I've had knowledge
wishes
even-
for season 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, I have faith in Sheepy as a GM, and so I'm just like, just do your thing, man.
More than you can say for some of us.
Y'all undersell yourselves. You guys are great. It's been a real pleasure just to watch every week and just see y'all do your thing. It's very impressive.
It's been fun to
Been
do
a
it.
lot
I
of
mean,
fun.
originally we'd planned for this series to be like 12 episodes or something, like
Yeah.
and just like do the thing. But then over the course of it, it was just like, this is pretty good and like fun
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff. We should like do more of this. Yeah.
I love that it started with, hey, let's do 12 episodes. And like maybe 18. Okay, 24, and then we wrap. I'm like,
Okay.
so for next season, we're not.
So as a note, it was let's do 8 with an option for 12, and we'll check in every 4 episodes and see if we want to do more.
Yeah.
I checked in on like episode 4 or something, and I was like, I was supposed to check in on episode 6, but what do you guys think? And they're like, yeah, 12. Let's do 12.
Yeah.
Like we're going slowly, we're enjoying ourselves, slow burn, lots
I mean,
of roleplay.
the start was such a build up. There was just like no way that could escalate in 8 episodes or even 12 episodes. Now that I think about it, into
Yeah.
something that was like a full arc, because we were just like slow burning it so hard individually.
Oh.
And imagine Sheepy just like at the end of this going like, I don't think like, I don't know if you guys want to do like a season 2. Like I would totally get if you don't want to do
Yeah.
a season 2. Like,
Yeah, I had plans for if we were going to keep it to like 8 or 12.
ooh, tell us.
It was much how it went, just essentially less. Not quite so much of a ramp up, not quite so much of a deep dive into characters and stuff, and it would be a lot more kind of just like there are monsters of the week type things going on, and let's deal with them. So the lights, the puka, all of those things, and then it would kind of be like, oh, there's a big, wide, supernatural world out there. I wonder what's next. And then we kind of like, no
And
big,
on a Disney theme.
yeah, no big bad or anything like that. But just whereas obviously we went to 24, and now you've got 8 big bads at least on the way or here.
Is Tori counted in that?
I would say
As a big bad, I don't know. After that introduction of like the friggin' Power Rangers villains,
It's not.
climbing
It's
out of-
not because there is higher evil that you're not fucking high on the list as well.
Okay, all right.
I think
yeah,
I
I
think to be fair, Tori is not an antagonist, but she what is it? Deuterage? What's the word when they're both?
Anti-hero.
Protagonist?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
that word.
I'd say
Listen,
there's...
I'm happy to. I'm happy to be evil anytime I'm pleased to be evil. But I don't know if Tori qualifies yet. We'll get there.
Oh no, she murdered an innocent teenager, but she doesn't qualify.
Innocent.
Innocent.
Please.
I'd say there's definitely an option.
I hunted a monster, which is what you were doing for the entire freaking series.
I'd say there's definitely an option for evil in there with Tori, but
Absolutely.
the jury's still out.
Also with Cece, she still doesn't know she killed that dude.
She didn't kill that.
No, she didn't.
You very, very much tried to.
That dude died.
Subjective, Your Honor.
Relevancy. So
Relevancy.
I would have.
I will say there was an arc during like between season or like episode like I want to say like 15 and 21 where I was like, what if I just went full fucking mind control?
I kind of felt you were trying when you were trying it on George.
And-
I was like, oh, if she succeeds at this, she's gonna know she's limitless.
Oh, I fought in the bar. That was like the beginning
bar,
of
yeah.
the Tori villain arc.
There's definitely hints of.
Well, and then there was this escalation of like giant monsterdom that I was like, that kind of doesn't mesh with mind control in like a synchronous way, you know what I mean? And that changed kind of the outlook on.
So
It is kind of wild, but it kind of makes sense at the same time.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but like in terms of powers, it's like the opposite end of the like spectrum of strength, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say, I would have liked to have allowed for a bit more of a group finish, where it's kind of, you guys would be able to like chat a bit and to kind of end on like everyone together, like discussing the future.
That's
and
good
et cetera.
season 2 opener though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Seeing as there is a season 2, I'm okay with how season 1 ended. Like, there's a part of me that's like, we could have done another episode maybe and like tied things off a little bit more like easily, but with me moving house, like I'm not confident in my availability for the next like few weeks.
I love that we kind of wrap on everyone becoming a group, because then
I do too. Like that
because
sense of
this
cohesiveness.
because if this had been a D&D game, it would have been, hey, you already know, everyone knows each other, you're already in a group, you've been adventuring together for a few years.
Yeah.
And now it's like we get the prequel to that. That's season 1, and then season 2 is, hey, you already know each other, you're already a group, you've been adventuring together
You've
for
been through the
months or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
So what I would say is, starting off, Mr. Matt, what are your thoughts on the episode finale?
Not many.
Did you expect things to go this way?
No, I expected, due to last week about the hunters, I was expecting hunters to start showing up and
Right?
be fighting. Because Sheepy just led us to believe, that. And then lo and behold, turns out the kind of for season 1 big bad was really George all along.
Yeah.
Oopsie daisies.
Yeah, whoopsie
We kind of
doopsie.
got hints at that way at the beginning. I didn't even know it was me.
True.
But I remember at the
Like-
very beginning when like he was dropping, I don't even remember if it was a conversation between Ashford and us or just Ashford and someone else, but he was talking about their past and their little group and how they had to take someone out because of the big bad. And I was like, oh shit, it'll be one of us.
So
I kind of thought it was
I-
Tori for a long time, to be honest.
I don't want to shine the spotlight at Will, but let's see. Tori has eaten someone. George has eaten several people.
and zombies.
And Cece tried to murder someone.
I haven't eaten anyone.
It's true.
No, but you've tried to kill someone, and
I
Will has
haven't
done none of
eaten
those
anyone.
things.
Syring's just quickly moving the goalposts for
Yeah.
what people
So if
Attempted murder isn't the same as murder.
seeing as not everyone knows exactly what's going on, if you guys like, I could very quickly dip into the exact kind of like Ashford.
I will say that I don't want to get full spoilers.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with
Yeah.
like not explaining things because we're
Yeah,
gonna have a
exactly.
season 2 to explain stuff, right?
We do still have Gray around, so he can.
Well, and
Watch CC what's
Different,
like Sheepy be like
flashbacks are a
Ashford's
thing, or,
Ashford's
there's lots
dead.
of ways to do it.
oh,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say anything that has a good chance of coming up in season 2. Yeah, you can just leave it unexplained for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my, since we have Mr. Matt here, here's
Yes.
my Mr. Matt related question. And that's highlights of the 24 episodes. What scenes jump out at you like immediately? It's like, oh
Yeah.
my god, that was a good one. Or, like,
With it being you asking, obviously the swimming pool, all of that debacle.
I was a fan of like,
That was
how
a
do I
banger.
describe being a giant monster, but like, like in an emotional way, you know?
I feel like
How
if
do,
our
how do I
campaign
frame
was
this
like
in a positive light?
an 80s book, the cover would be like the necks, you know, in a splash of water, and like this terrified cheerleader pushed up against a wall. One of those really theatrical paintings, like hyper
Okay, but
realistic.
other scenes, other
Yeah,
different ones,
yeah. I would say, let's see, for Cecilia, I'd say there's for some reason the date keeps coming to mind. It's not an action scene, but it's the most awkward but well done, well acted like bit of role playing I've seen in a while.
Oh,
Like,
I'm so mad Sheepy didn't give me the hospital scene.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Cecilia
Yet.
just talking herself off that like ledge of a date.
God, I love that.
And then
Like-
onto another ledge, and
Yeah, like the audience believed that they knew who Cecilia was up until the date. I think.
yeah.
Like you knew, yeah. There's something a little funny about this girl, and then you see the date, and you're like, oh no, there's a lot wrong with this girl. It's wonderful.
Oh shit, she's fucked up. Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
all
Oh
Yes.
shit,
funny.
she really doesn't know her.
100%.
But then Rodney having no plan for a date. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
Pain
mean,
in my
come
soul.
on. I mean, honestly,
it's got to be hard fighting against your better instincts.
it's
and-
so much fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much like today I was like thinking every single conversation like what is the one thing I can say to make this weird, like with the addresses saying like hey, can you tell me where you live?
Yeah. No,
It's not creepy or
not in a
anything.
creepy way. Just tell me where you live.
I know.
Just because I want to keep eyes on you, not in a creepy way.
And then I'd say for George, let me think. I mean, every time I think of George, I just think of just pure comedy because of Katie's emoting and just the jokes all the time. It's just great.
I try not to. Every once in a while I don't have my mic muted. I feel so bad.
Chihuahua
it's-
reaction
Chihuahua.
gif.
Yeah, no, I look like that all the time while I'm watching. So yeah, it's
I
the
do the
best. I don't
same
have a
watching
camera.
his other shows too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Sheepy's witness to that. We've been watching Duacroma. My face the whole time is
Mhm.
the exact same face.
Hmm. But yeah, I'd say this episode was a pretty big one for George. 'Cause
Yeah.
we got to see, and granted, Katie explained it later, a bit of that kind of surprising, what was it, nihilism from
Yeah.
her at the end. Because that was interesting. Because before it was like, I want to help people. We can't let people die, save the world, kind of thing. And it's like just let it all burn down, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
like,
was-
who
I
fucking
mean,
cares? Yeah.
I feel like she had that good guy attitude up until that bomb of only 5 years was dropped. And then
Yeah,
that sense of teenager, like, oh, fuck you,
yeah.
Well, and
then
that's such a short time when you think about it from like a teen
Yeah.
perspective as well, right?
Mhm.
Like 5 years
Yeah,
is
yeah.
nothing,
yeah.
right?
gonna get 2 years of legal drinking.
And you won't even be able to get drunk.
I know.
Maybe now
That's-
she will.
Yeah, that's George being happy now. I got rid of the
Yeah,
I got
George can
rid of
smoke
this.
now.
I can fucking drink again.
I'd
We're
like
gonna open
to,
next season on just an intervention.
I'd like to throw in for both George and for Will the
Mhm.
the Cecilia turn basement.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a very good scene for everybody involved.
I think that was a great scene for Cecilia too, but obviously,
I
we've already
mean,
done
my
the
game
Cecilia.
plan was
Yes.
just to listen to Mr. Matt say one for each of us, and then have us each
Yeah.
do a top one, but not for you, like for somebody else's character.
Yeah, and then of course I was going to say for LZT for the character of Will, for some reason it really stands out. I know it was a small detail, but I like the kind of subtle nuance early on of the chess matches early when it's like he's kind of starting to be an asshole. Like it was very subtle.
yeah.
Yes.
Like Sheepy didn't even notice it, so I pointed it out, and it was like, oh, he is, because it's like he's getting this more competitive streak, and he's like, I have friends now, and I have this little thing I can do, and it wasn't like a full heel turn or anything where it's not believable or bad acting. It's
No.
That little change. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I didn't want to. I wanted to make it believable, so I didn't want to do as I say, about face. And I was like, oh no, he's. Guess what? I was talking to Chippy and I chatted for half an hour earlier today. I was like, I didn't want to like one day he turns up and he's got like slouchy jeans and a chain on his keys and a loose fitting shirt with like FUBU on it and like a cap back to front and sunglasses and go like, I smoke now. I'm like, no,
I'll
believe
smoke
it.
now, everybody.
You gotta get there. Yeah, you gotta get there.
Yeah, I thought you nailed that little subtle beginning there. It was great.
I agree.
think-
I loved seeing his confidence grow.
I think my favorite scene of any scene, and this is gonna sound super like kind of dumb given the amount of stuff there is that exists in the show that is so good, was George's opening scene. The first George scene was my favorite scene in the entire show. Just George shit talking under the bleachers, like with Joel and Casey, because I've only roleplayed with like Sheepy and LZT, maybe LZT before. Like,
I think we've done something, right?
And going into it, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna vibe. And as soon as Katie did the scene, I was like, oh, we're in good hands. We're good.
No worries.
Let's fucking go. And then
I'm so happy because Sheepy and I worked on that for a bit.
it was really easy to jump into stuff after that. So it was like, it wasn't necessarily the content, but just like the attitude of the scene was so easy for me to be like, cool, I know what we're doing now. Here we go.
I'd like to add on to that. I feel like all of your intros were great.
Yeah.
And I very much appreciate you all going along with that, because Syrinx has had an experience with the cheapy intro before in a show. But the rest of you had... The rest of you had no idea what to expect going into it, and I think it came off very well.
Look, LCT, I didn't cry in this show. That's a miracle. That's a fucking miracle.
I think Cece got me once or twice.
Yeah.
I saw your reactions once or twice.
There's a lot of relatable shitty nerddom in CC, right? Like in that, like, and lots of us are that person. If you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I think it was when your parents thought you had friends.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And talked so casually about it. Like,
I'm so sorry about that.
No, it was great because it's so identifiable.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, a lot of our parents thought we were a lot cooler than we really were, and we were like, please help me.
Can your friends stop stealing chickens? Yeah, I'll totally tell them to stop stealing chickens.
And another one that got me was George and younger sister. That interaction.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And commercials.
Yeah.
I keep the TV on.
That was another one that's like just heart-wrenchingly relatable.
That's the great thing about high school shows in general. Like, you do the supernatural thing, but then it's the mundane crap that gets you, right? Like it's the like very relatable, like, this is what it is like IRL sometimes stuff,
And
we have to
really
fight a MIT today, but we also have math finals tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that's why Cece hit me so hard, was her struggle to try to, like, she was already so, excuse me if I'm wrong, it just came off as so uncomfortable in her own skin already. And like trying so hard and then just be thrust into like a new existence and fighting it was so hard. That was any
scene where I got to socially top Cece was the best, by the way.
I'd love to do a go around and people tell me, or tell us generally, the chat, not me specifically, what their favorite scenes are. Like Matt has told what he thought was
I did
the
one.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cece?
God. God, LCT, I'm not my character.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, then you tell us Syrinx God.
Syrinx.
I don't know. I have to keep thinking on just Elf, the way you played Tori. You're a mean girl icon to me.
Oh shit, okay.
Dude,
And, like-
real
like-
talk.
And as we said, like, it's a supernatural show. But sometimes the mundane stuff was the most entertaining, and just Tori every single time. I don't know, I think you said that you played this character as like a challenge to yourself.
Yeah, so when I was making the character originally, I was talking to Sheepy and I'm like, well, I could play like this like loner nerd character, and she was like, we already got one. I'm like, all right, opposite time, let's fucking go. I'll be the popularist person
I
that
did
exists.
I did say to the majority of you, like, do you have anything you want to challenge yourself with? And like,
Well-
I think, did we all kind of do that?
yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely outside of my usual comfort zone in terms of like roleplay.
Yeah.
But you fucking nailed it every single time. And I think the amount, like, I think Katie reacted a lot visually, but I think there's so many clips of you just having the nicest, like, baddest lines ever, dropping them, and me just going,
Hard, same. I'd be like cheering her on though. I was like,
I'm just channeling my inner like
Tori's my
Regina
hero.
George, like, you know, like kind of
like,
vibe. and
you
trying
talking
to, yeah.
Chelsea down, like, in the beginning
Yeah.
before she was even the spider, just going, like, keep your hands off of him. And I was like, you piece, you dirty piece. And I was like, oh,
I'll throw out
there's my star.
so that everyone else could do theirs. I'll throw out mine because mine isn't actually a scene. It is a setting scenario, basically. Anytime I got to play all of your family members was the best.
Oh,
I
yeah.
enjoyed like just the sisters
You
and
do
parents
kids so
and-
well, Sheepy. Like
You
you
do.
play
The
this
kids
Let's
on
not
my
let's not
phone.
say that in a clippable way where it
Oh.
can be taken out of context, please.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
happy
do,
birthday, happy birthday. You do
Play-
voice act the children on the phone uncannily well. I have to call someone who has
Yeah.
2 young children all the time, and it's hi, no, okay. It's just perfect. It's just like these short clipped answers, and you're like, we're getting nowhere. Put
Yeah,
someone else
like,
on the phone.
why do you answer the phone? You are
Yeah, why do you know how to
useless.
do this? Yeah.
But yes, I very much enjoyed being all of the family members, and I'd say additionally just because we didn't have any siblings for Cecilia. Playing Rodney was a lot of fun. Just
Yeah.
it's so awkward and so it hits an unfortunate real life. Just kind of like I've been there before, and it's not fun. And
Hey, I will say, when we're talking about things you played really well, Sheepy, I will say the amount of times, I already told you this before, but you playing Knight and knowing that you played someone very, very bad, possibly, and feeling bad about it yourself.
and you
being
know how
like, oh
uncomfortable
God,
it makes me. Like,
God,
yeah.
I hope people don't like think the wrong things about this, or like, because I'm playing this like gaslighting motherfucker, and I
Yeah.
was like, no, but you did it so well. It was
Hey everyone, it's a role-playing game. We're playing
Yeah.
roles.
Honestly, my favorite scene, that was gonna be them when it's Knight and you,
Oh,
both
the-
of you though.
Mm.
Like both you go, because I know you are like the fight in your mind to not act the way CC acts, like just soaking up his adoration. It's so nauseating. It's so well done. It makes me sick.
It's
please,
great.
yes, pat
Good.
me on the head. Thank you.
I need validation from an authority figure.
I
Praise
bought,
me.
I bought Apple for teacher.
Yeah.
Do we have homework? We should get homework. Like,
Didn't
yeah.
you
I
forget to
literally
collect
say that in the
homework?
beginning.
Yeah, exactly that one.
You wanna
Can't forget to collect.
you wanna know something weird, which I don't think we talked about before, is in the moment when we were doing the Knight and Cecilia scenes and stuff, I felt no shame or uncomfortableness or anything. It was retrospectively looking back. I'm like, oh god, I hate it so
well,
much.
in the moment, you're role playing, right?
Yeah,
you're just channeling this
it-
vibe. It's very much like that for me with the bitch scenes as well, where I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, I was awful, but it was cool. Yeah, like,
It felt good.
I guess LZT, you're on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Katie, when George and the Puka are talking about stuff in George's bedroom, I love that stuff, and they're like discussing like, oh, it's milk and bread, and there's milky bread.
that's what Shadow Man in chat
Anytime literally
said as well.
anyone says
Th-
milk and bread,
that's kind of on
that's all I think of
par.
now.
If I get to choose two, that was I love that for like a interactive thing between you and Sheepy, and then for another aspect of the game, I'd say Tori and the bank getting the money. I love that. Absolutely loved it. I was like, oh shit, spider bitch, or no, it was a mirror
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Sheepy thought
oh,
I was
no.
gonna turn that. Sheepy thought I was gonna try and fight that, and I'm
was
just like,
so
whoa, we can just be friends. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're fine.
I went in like muscles flexed and like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then Elf just like opens the door. He's like, come in, sit down, and I'm like flexing and like
Sweating.
okay, I will. Tea sounds lovely.
It's like what do you want? Can we be friends? Like
Biscuits sound.
I have a
biscuits
very
sound
high
glorious.
diplomacy score.
Yeah.
I would love some tea. Thank you so much.
Use charisma. It's not the mind control didn't work. Quickly talk my way out of this shit.
Like shaking. Like this tea smells fucking fragrant. I love it.
Would you like milk? Yes, please.
Yeah, the next thing I think, which could be worth doing, is for Mr. Bat, you are the voice of the chat. In this
The
instance,
voice of the silent majority.
Lots of pressure on you.
Oh, of course.
One question for each of the characters for the cast to answer about their characters. It's down to them what they answer and how they answer. And also one question for me, which I will answer about the show.
Okay.
So, no,
Okay.
yeah, feel free to ask me whatever, and
Yeah,
I will
hit
answer
us
it.
up.
Sure. Well, you already covered what I was going to do, is just the favorite scenes for your respective characters.
Okay.
I guess in this case, I'll go with what was the most difficult scene or aspect of each of your characters for you?
Oh, okay.
For me, I think it was balancing the idea of this like shitty popular girl with the idea of like a real person. You know what I mean? I was trying very hard to do this thing where like it wasn't Tori wasn't like a caricature of Mean Girl. She was like a person who had goals, and those goals required that she be like ascendant, if you know what I mean. And like a lot of it is like you put on your social face to do things. We all do to some degree, like have this like pretend persona that is like who we interact with, people we don't know with. And that it's just like shitty learned behavior, right? Like everything about her family makes you think this is the kind of person that she would be, right?
I would say not everything. Her interactions with her siblings.
Yeah, but
that
like
softens the
stuff that builds a person into this like, you know, and like making sure that it wasn't like comically high school evil was the hardest part, because there were so many times where I wanted to just be an asshole for no reason. And I was like, there's no reason to be an asshole here, you know? And like bringing it back down in moments of like family, or like the stuff with George later on where it was like, I kind of miss that we're not friends, you know, and like that kind of stuff. And like, I think that was the hardest part, because it's like trying to portray that, right? Like show that can be hard.
I thought you nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was, as you said, I'm sure it's very difficult to pull off a character that can be both terrible, but also believable as a human being and likable.
I think it's the thing where like you always think of that like Mean Girl archetype as like the villain of whatever movie, the high school thing, or like it, and they are usually just like caustically bad, you know?
Yes.
So it was that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
No redeemable feature whatsoever.
Exactly.
We'll run through on the Zoom order. So, Katie, you're up next.
I'd say, I mean, it's kind of a combination. It's any of the scenes where George had to be more real and more emotional and broken down, I think, because she's like, that was my opposite build of a character. Is I built someone that was very guarded and kept everything, you know, like everything's a joke, just be high and joke about it. And she keeps people around her that don't dig very deep, you know, it's very shallow people. But as things got more and more serious, you know, like culminating with that scene, it haunts me. The scene with Cecilia and Will in the basement, like trying to convince Cecilia not to exercise a human being. Like that was stretching some RP muscles of my own.
Yeah.
Because Katie would like launch across the room and grab that person and be like, what the fuck? You know, but like Katie's not 16.
You did eventually launch across the room and hug her.
I did,
Yeah.
which I had two ideas. One of them was to slap her, and I went with what I like. That was really hard, but I knew like at George's core, she's like a teddy bear.
Can I tack a question onto that just because I find it really interesting, Katie? How close does George run to like your experience? You know what I mean? Because I feel like there's a lot of that like stoner influence in your like teen vibe. Like, no, nothing. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
For those of you who don't know, Katie's a teetotaler. She's just smoking dope. She's smoking weed just for the character. That's the only reason.
So true.
Method
No,
acting,
actually,
baby.
I know it's really weird. I was a total jock.
So
I was like
method.
class president jock.
Cool.
She's
straight
been
A's.
preparing. She's been preparing for this role for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Practicing. I started practicing
yeah.
after I got out of school.
Which
Nice.
makes it all the weirder that we have all of those George and Joel scenes which just go off into absolute
Yeah.
bizarreness.
If you're wondering, Tori's not close to me either.
What?
What?
I'd say the
I
closest
feel like
to
I
me
took
at
on what
school-
people think I was
Yeah.
George.
The closest to me at school would probably be Will, weirdly.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's true for
But
me
not
as
chess
well.
club. Warhammer.
Why do you
Painting
say
Club instead?
weirdly,
Yeah.
Shuki?
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, like...
All right, sorry, I derailed
Yes.
us. Go to the next one. Yeah.
Syrinx, you're up.
I'm up. Wow.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Oh my god. I think we're all on a same kind of line hopping here. Because I think I messaged Sheepy about that, or I told Sheepy that a couple of times. As with everyone here, we kind of took characters that we weren't used to playing. Because I normally tend to go either between the social sly character or the physical brute character. So I had multiple moments where, for example, with the whole, with the encounter in the basement, like going like, how am I going to go about this? Because you're playing a character that on the one hand is has this mixed vision of reality where she's like, I want to do what's right, but like, oh, this is surely right, and I want to do the things that make me earn appreciation of authority figures, so that as well. But I also like am socially inept, but I'm like not a dick, but I'm like, I try to rationalize things. And sometimes it's a lot to take into account of just having a decision going through multiple steps of, is this like, does this make sense in this way and in this way? Which I found difficult at times to know exactly, okay, but how would this person react? And I like, the thing that helped me the most in that is when we were in character creation, and I again, I told this already, I think, but I based the character on Rachel Berry from Glee. Every time I had a moment where I was like, okay, so how would I react to this? I just thought, what would Rachel Berry do? What would she do?
I pictured her so hard. Sometimes we were like, Mr. Knight says it's going to be okay, so it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's just flat. I could see it so clearly.
So again, we're on the same page. Just the smallest
It turns out being
decisions.
human is super difficult.
Yeah.
Like making someone a human that isn't you is super difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
There you go.
And LZT?
I mentioned this earlier, but so this is the first game I've played really where it's like the interaction with the system is negligible, if any at all. Because I've been playing D&D and like role playing games for 20 years,
Yeah.
and for 19 and a half of those years I've been the DM, designated DM. Who's going to be the DM? LZ is going to be the DM because he's got all the books and he's always the DM. It's never a question of would he like to play.
Yeah.
So now I get to play, and it's a very juxtaposition of fall back on mechanics and no mechanics to fall back on.
Yeah.
And it's a change, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm super stoked for season 2. But with Will, the thing I've had to overcome the most has been a case of asserting myself in situations where I would rather let them play out, just so he doesn't end up in like, oh yeah, we haven't seen Will in 4 episodes because nothing ever happens with him. But I was like, oh no, I'll say this, or I'll interject here and say something rather than just fading into obscurity and like, hey, we're just removed LCT from the intro because he never fucking says anything. So but I'm very much looking forward to a season 2 where we don't have to. We mentioned this earlier, where we don't have to build the characters up because we'll start with the well-established characters.
Yeah. And I will say, do you have a question for the GM about the show that you would like to know and that you feel chat may want to know?
Actually, I asked chat. First, they had asked about what inspired you, for the show. But I think you already told me before. It was about Sweet Home, wasn't it? Kind of the beginnings, the idea.
Yeah. If anyone's watched the South Korean show Sweet Home,
I've watched 5 episodes. That does not relate to me right now for this show. Jesus fucking Christ.
Do you like it though?
It might be a little more for me than I want, but I keep watching it. So
yeah. It's the thing that hit me was like the idea of kind of an entity becoming a part of you, or kind of like slowly asserting itself. And like originally the idea I had was in a shopping mall there's an apocalypse and everyone gets taken over by an entity which they have to balance between survival, essentially a supernatural strong superhuman entity allowing them to survive, but also trying to keep a cap on it and not use it too much in situations where they're constantly being under attack and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the slow kind of like degradation of humanity into becoming a monster. But something hit me at some point where I was like, I want to do a 90s show because I love the 90s and I love Buffy. And also I was very enamored with the idea of starting a show with nothing special about the characters in terms of like, in D&D.
That is very cool, like not knowing where you're going, so to speak.
In D&D, you start and you know what you are. I'm a wizard. I'm a rogue. I'm a druid. And I was like, what if we just make people? And I really... The
hard part.
I really like the idea, because I like to go OTT, of making a whole load of possible kind of like power entity things for you guys.
So I feel like it's a very teen experience to just make a person, and then the big stuff that happens to that person is not within your control all the time, right? Like that's a very like weirdly human teen experience.
I was expecting you guys to like go a bit quicker into getting your powers and getting the entities.
It was like within 2 episodes for most people.
I thought it would be like first episode kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Silly you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, should be the contrast with D&D where you're a bard or a rogue or whatever. I love the idea that essentially we're commoners and then we become a thing rather than hey, guess what? You went to Bard College and you were
That's
a
kind of
bard
what you were
now."
saying earlier, LZT, when you were saying that instead of us all already being friends and being established, we
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
had
yeah.
to grow that this show.
Yeah, this is the prequel season, and then we'll
Yeah.
in season 2 like, hey, we're an established group. We already do this
Uh-huh.
together.
Yeah.
It's just now
It'd
you
be
know
like
how we
old
got here.
hat.
And
Yeah,
what
we start with a prequel.
what really engaged me to GM this show above, because I have a whole load of ideas, they just fly into my brain and then I write them down and expand on them. Is essentially like that idea of having a whole load of paths where you can maybe end up, and just like with no control on my side, just letting you guys progress, because I think I've mentioned this before. Like CC almost hit the spider path. And
You and I talked about that a lot because I think I almost stumbled
Yeah.
across a few of those too.
you almost hit the light, that
Yes.
ball of light that you guys captured. You almost hit that one. Will
CC could have easily have been the siren too, been the hybrid.
Yeah, true.
Like it was like so close.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like,
And it was
Yes.
literally a character choice, which I love. It was a character decision, like my character. No.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
it wasn't not impulsive thing.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
yeah. And then Tori was like, "Hell yeah, I'm impulsive. Let's fucking Hydra this shit up." But yeah, no, that was kind of like the inspiration. And there's still quite a few of them that you guys haven't encountered at all. I was gonna say yet, but who knows on that one.
yeah.
It's gonna be very exciting for
Stay
season 2.
tuned.
Yeah.
Katie's gonna be paranoid every time George touches anything now. She
I
has a
am.
chance to be possessed.
I so am.
It's gonna
She'd
be
like,
a
"Are you
relief
thirsty,
when she
George? Do you want a
finally
glass
gets
of
something.
water?"
So seeing as that was one that was kind of already answered, do you want to throw me another one? I'll see if I can. Smash one
Yeah.
out for you.
Let me see here if chat said anything else.
think
Katie,
we have
I
a
like
couple
that.
good ones.
Katie, I love the idea of someone like, "Hey, can you help me with this bag? It's really heavy." I'm like a burden.
Looks like chat has
Will's
also
gonna become
asked.
the worst sarcastic person ever.
Looks like chat has also asked, what was it like playing Joel?
Oh, we stand Joel. We were just
Come on,
cheering
Joel
on
is
the
like the
praises.
easiest roleplay in history.
So
yeah.
yeah, Joel is one of those characters which I create as a mixture of like fun for the audience and like utility for the characters, for the cast. I like to make characters who are engaging in the sense where you kind of want to talk to them, because the scenes you have are like, you know, like I want to do more of these scenes because they're fun and they help, you know, kind of. So
I personally very
So-
appreciated Joel because he gave me someone emotional to bounce off of,
Yeah.
or as emotional as teens get, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
But I
was kind
also
of her
feel
root.
I also feel like Joel sort of fills that weird niche that happens in basically every RPG group where there's an NPC who is of little to no consequence that the party just loves for fucking no reason.
Oh yeah,
Every
He's-
time.
he's-
There's reason in
Yeah,
there,
he's the
man.
pet.
Yeah,
He-
but
he-
that reason only grew when the character had time to like talk and do stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
that first initial like, oh, I like this guy. I'm gonna talk to Jim the Goblin in the corner for like 8 hours. You know, it's like
Yeah,
that.
Her
But it's
name
a-
was
it-
Faye.
It's a case of, this is George, he can eat things. This is Will, he can see weird things. This is Tori, she can turn into a Hydra and convince people. This is Cece, she can do stuff with animals. And this is our mascot, Joel.
He's kind of high.
He makes us
Yeah,
smile.
exactly. That's Joel. He has no idea what's going on.
But yeah, I would say like Joel fits that kind of like category, and
He's like Joxer.
Puka as well, I would say, probably fits that category.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just for whatever reason, he became a bit endearing, and I've seen everyone in the chat be like, if either
was gonna
Puka
say.
or Joel dies,
Okay, I was
like
gonna
we're
say.
done. Like,
I don't know if you saw
Burning
this,
this
but we all
place
quit.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We quit if Puka's harmed, so.
But yeah, I did see people be like, we quit if Puka's harmed, and then everyone tacked on like, oh, and Joel as well, by the way.
Joel,
Yeah.
And I love the fact that Puka was the thing, and then everyone was like, you know what, Joel also fits in the category of Puka. And I'm like, poor Joel, man. Like, is it really?
Joel is like everyone's Puka.
So I think we'll hit on a outro in a second. But I thought I'd offer to all 5 of you, if you like, as a little bit of a ramp-up teaser, whatever, for season 2, you know, to look forward to in the future. Would you like the mostly one-word, inverted commas, names of the 8?
No, I don't want to know.
No.
I don't want to
Okay.
know.
I don't want to know.
Okay.
I'll defer.
I don't want to know. You're giving me way too much information.
No,
That shit. Message it to people on Discord if they want to know it. I don't want to know.
AKA message it to Katie.
Hey, share it on Patreon. That way,
Yeah, there you go.
Check out
Oh,
Patreon.
that could be the last line in my notes.
In that case, let's do a quick outro on everyone, and then we'll hit the actual outro. And then we'll be done for the QT season 1. But everyone has already been like episodes and episodes ago has been like, we're doing season 2, and I'm like, every episode I'm like before the intro, I'm like, hey guys, do you still want to do season 2? And everyone's like, why are you still asking? Yes, let's do it. So I guess I have no choice.
We haven't changed our minds
That's
since last time you
a good
asked.
sign.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So, given that I apparently have the tiniest bladder in existence, I'm going to hit my outro very quickly and then throw it over to you guys so I can run and pee.
No,
Oh my God.
sheepy.
I know.
You have to hold it for like 5 more minutes. Like,
Well, I'm gonna hit the outros to you guys so I can run and pee and be
come on,
back.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Sheepdog, this is The Wandering Inn, very, very basic. Go check out the Patreon if you like this show, if you like the Duaquamare Outlook, and you want to see me do more shows. The only other thing I'll say is, seeing as everyone shut down my attempt to do a tease for season 2 of Duaquamare, of the QT, as a little bit of a tease, I am currently working on the casting of a 40k show, and also Dragon Riders Season 3. So
And he hasn't talked to me about this 40k show yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard about this either. This is some baby back bullshit.
Blast.
I did say working on the casting, so you know.
I fully expect a message within the week.
With that,
I haven't heard from it either, sheepy.
Yeah,
I'm
You
happy
have,
for
you
it.
have. I know exactly which show you're interested in, and that is not
I'm
one of the
happy
coming
for
soon.
Look, I didn't mean to
It's
derail.
not
I'm
40K.
sorry.
Look, I
I'm
need
sorry.
to pee, goddammit! Yes, so I'm gonna pass it off to Elf, and Elf, the cast will all hot potato it, and if I'm not back by the time they're done, then just hold on for a second, I'll be back as soon as possible. Elf,
Just get up and
go!
Hi, I am Distracted Elf. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Distracted Elf. I know there are many options for your social media, and you may choose from the wide array. I am Distracted Elf on most of them. That's it. And I stream, and I
Drag it out. You have to drag it out a little bit.
Miniature building stuff, and if you're into like models and painting and small army men, I do lots of that as well. Recently I've been working on an army of the undead. The other thing that I do is, and it's a futuristic army of the undead, so it's all converted, which is like a whole other thing. But the other thing that I do is that I am writing an RPG, and it is almost ready to play test. By almost ready to play test, I mean it's being play tested a lot currently. So what I meant is that's already happening. The rule set is going to be available sometime soon. It's called The Gloom Beneath, and it's about politics in the caverns underneath the fantasy apocalypse and the deep elves that live there. So it's kind of a Blades thing, but with houses instead of crime gangs and, you know, political ascendancy and all that kind of stuff. It's cool. Go, Katie.
Hey! My name's Katie. It's wonderful to see all of you. Classy Katie. What a pleasure this game was. My notes say, like, last episode had tears falling off of it, and then Sheepy said season 1, and I crossed all the tears out, and I'm happy again. So that's really exciting. I had a blast. You can find me on my channel. I I've been playing a lot of Diablo because there's a lot of fleshy, undulating like bodies and stuff that really, for some reason, tickle my fancy. And I do a lot of special effects makeup, and you can swing by anytime. We have a good time. And I got a lot of animals, and I feed tarantulas on my stream and stuff. And I've got Blackie here. Say hi. Did you have a good time?
Can he? The dog wasn't a paid actor, but the amount of times that it was so fitting when they appeared on screen.
I love the idea of having that in the credits. Trick as Blackie.
Guest star. No animals were harmed in the making of this TTRPG. But yeah, you can find me everywhere as Classy Katie on the 5 million things that aren't Twitter anymore. But I had a really good time and it was a blast. Syrinx, how about you?
Oh my god, thank you for asking. I also had a blast. Sheesh.
You are
hey.
so welcome.
Oh my god, thank you. No, you. Hi, I'm Syrinx. Last time I didn't get the chance to do this, so you can find me on TikTok, specifically on the type where they are now defending the Barbie movie against men who were very offended by the Barbie movie, and it is absolutely hilarious.
My favorite shit with that is the captions of like all the men on the trailer,
It's
the like a disgusting
hilarious.
feminist, like fucking yeah, it's so good.
So yeah, can you find me on that side of TikTok? I don't know. You can search, but you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Syrinx. I love this show. I had a blast. Looking forward to season 2. And by all means, LCT, kick it off.
Hi, I'm Lima Zol Tango. I have been Will. I have been William Hamish Robinson.
Danger, Will
Because
Robinson.
yeah, we've gotten away from that joke actually, which is nice.
Yeah.
I've said it a couple times.
Yeah, that was a while ago though. So thanks for watching, everyone. I've had an absolute blast. I can't wait for season 2. I want to thank all my co-stars and Sheepy for running the whole thing. I stream occasionally on twitch.tv/LimaZuluTango. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at LimaZuluTango. And you can also find links on those things to my website, which sells handmade leather goods for very, very affordable prices for handmade stuff. And you can find this whole thing on Patreon, which you should check out because otherwise, none of this. And I also want to thank Mr. Matt for providing synopsis and plot summaries for episodes on Twitter or on YouTube, rather.
Yes.
Thank you very
Thank you all.
They're literal poetry.
And yeah, as we slide over towards the outro, I'd just like to say it did tickle me quite a bit that Syrinx went, I haven't had the chance to say this before, but you can find me on TikTok, and then didn't tell anyone where to find you. You just went, you can find me on TikTok. Anyway.
I didn't say that. I said specifically where.
Oh, okay. Just search.
Were
Barbie
you
movie?
deaf? I said on the side of TikTok where they're defending the Barbie movie against men who are offended by it.
That's not where someone can find the TikTok.
And then
Yeah,
I
it
said,
is.
but can you
Yeah, it
find me
is.
there? I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Whoa, have you only caught up on my running
treasure
joke for the
hunt.
last 4 episodes where I keep saying, hey, you can find me on Target haul video sides of Instagram Reels. Do you not been catching up on the running joke there, Sheepy?
I haven't, no. I'm
God.
not gonna lie.
I think he might make you shout yourself out every time he leaves to pee. He might hate you.
Yeah.
He might.
Rude.
It's the only time during the outros. Anyway, outro
I was
time.
gonna say my endurance is running low here.
We've,
Can we?
we've hit it. Don't worry. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the QT. On Fridays there will be the Drachma Outlook for a while, and obviously it'll be announced properly when the next set of shows are going to be coming up. So keep an eye out for them, and obviously for season 2 of the QT. Thank you for watching, and we will see you when we do other shows. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.